Hey everybody, this is Cody922 here. Welcome to Cody Talks Fandom episode number 37, interview time, because it's on an odd number, and continuing on the cycle, if you've been paying attention. Now is writers, after this will be artist, after that will be musician, and then the coveted other. But focusing back around to this one, it's going to be the writers one. And I'm finally going to get to have an interview that I've been looking forward to for a really long time, actually. Next person is obviously a writer, one of, if not the most prolific writers in the fandom, has a ton of one-shots published, a couple longer length fics, such as Gold, and is also really the epitome of quantity and quality within the RWBY fandom. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Hanasaku Shijin.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here, finally. I've been really looking forward to this. I'm very excited to see what you have for me.
Yeah. So, quick background on why I prefaced this with so much of really long time is because Hana was one of the people that was in one of like the kind of more unfortunate series of events for me in terms of asking people to be on the show. We didn't really have that much traction. I went 0 for 12 or 0 for 11, something like that. A lot of people said no. Let's phrase it that way. And so I did an author spotlight back when those were a thing for Hana. And actually your author spotlight is one of the reasons why I don't do them anymore, because I just couldn't offer anything like really that constructive for you. I felt so bad.
I love that video. I was gushing the whole time listening to it.
It was such bullshit criticism though. Like that had like no warrants whatsoever, and I still gave it, and I felt bad, and now I don't do them anymore because fuck that. So I did the author spotlight, and then I want to say it was before or after the Bumblebee episode, which was 17. I think it was after. I said, hey, Hannah, do you want to come on my show for an interview? That would have been episode 17 and a half. And she declined at the point in time because there's miscommunication. Neither side of us, but I didn't communicate very well what having her on the show would have been, what I really wanted to accomplish there. And so she declined, and I continued on my search until I hit Questmon. And here we are. The show has a new name. I've had several interviews between then and now, but I finally have you on the show. And I'm really happy to finally have you on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So that's the background behind that. And I think that back then it would have been really something to have you on, but even now the show has more traction, and I'll phrase it this way. You set 2 records, Hannah, and I told you this day one that you had most likely set both of these records. The most viewer submitted questions, even removing the ones that I have to remove because they're already on the list, or they're just, questions that are kind of in spite of the spirit of the show, and you also set the record for most questions in general. Now they're setting a record, and they're shattering it.
Oh, God.
The prior record for most questions was Haley, who found a way to turn 31 questions into an hour-long interview. Shout outs to Haley. You have 49 questions, including 22 viewer-submitted questions.
Wow. I never expected to get that many.
I didn't expect you to get that many either. You fucking destroyed my inbox. Rip my Tumblr inbox. Hang on, I'm gonna go there real fast.
Because when I first saw the video, I reblogged it, and it had like maybe 4 notes, and I was like, wow, no one's sending anything. No one's looking at this.
Well, okay, I need other, like, my entire success, I'm kind of like a leech in the fandom. My entire success is based off of the success of others. So it's kind of like I need other people to... Oh no, are they all gone? No, Tumblr... Okay, there we go. Okay, my inbox has 23 messages in it right now, plus I think like 3 or 4 comments on YouTube videos, people asking multiple ones, me having to take and remove. It kind of it totaled out to 22 official questions, and then there's 4 things that I will be saying just kind of along the way that'll wind up in story time. But getting right into it, no more build up. How did you first discover RWBY?
By total accident. It was probably, I had my Tumblr blog for about 5 years, and about 2.5 years ago, I'd say. I was just scrolling along through my dashboard, and I saw this really gorgeous gift set of this beautiful princess in white, and there's my bias right there. And I said, wow, this is so beautiful. What is this? I have to see it automatically. And there was a link, clicked on it. White trailer was the first thing I ever saw with RWBY. And then after that, I was just blown away. I was, wow, that was incredible. That was beautiful, breathtaking. I love the music. I love the animation. I love the character. And then I scrolled down and saw, oh, hey, there's a red one too. So I watched RWBY's. And then I saw the announcements at the end of the video that red and white is done, but there's still black and yellow. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's going to be more. So I had to wait for those two. After yellow, I finished. I was like, oh wow, it's done. And then my cousin actually told me, oh no, they're making a show out of it. And I said, oh my god. When? And that was pretty much my descent into RWBY hell.
I feel like it's really appropriate that you saw the white trailer first, and then the first thing that you saw after that was the red trailer, because that would just set a precedent for you.
I'm totally biased. Always to I've always really liked the white schemed characters, and I always end up liking the quote unquote bitchy ones, but it's always, it had to be Weiss. It had to be.
All right, next question. The first viewer submitted question, because we've got a lot of these to go through.
I'm ready.
Where did you learn to write? And that is from Recovery 15.
Where? Not really where. I mean, I went to school. You know, I took the English classes and all that. But writing just kind of became a hobby. I want to say at least 10 years ago, I started writing fan fiction when I was about 10 years old. My first one ever was like a combination fan fiction, actually, between my sister and my friend and I. And we each took turns writing a little bit of it. And then we put on my sister's account, but now I have my own account. And I started, my very first story ever was Naruto. And I've just progressed from there. Whatever anime was on that season, I'm like, I'm going to write for it. I'm going to write for it, which is why I have over 300 categories I've written for. But RWBY just took precedence above all else. Like, I used to watch every anime, every season, every year. But the second RWBY came out, I wasn't interested in anything else anymore. And for 2 years consistently, I've kept up with my RWBY Tuesday challenge, haven't missed a week. Also, birthday stories on top of that, like for friends, or just stories I felt like putting out. And nothing, I haven't done anything but write RWBY. Bit of Carmilla, but mostly RWBY for the past 2 years, and I'm not bored of it.
Yeah, if you go to Hana's page, there is there's over 300 stories. Most of them are RWBY at this point. You have your backlog, as I have referenced.
Yes.
Your backlog takes you into the nuclear apocalypse at this point. So
after I'm working on one story right now. It's Freezer Burn, but it will not be like, I've written one chapter each morning for the past week now, and I'm on chapter 6. But that will not be out until, my backlog is set till mid-October.
What
and
the fuck?
This Freezer Burn fic will take me until mid-November at least, if not the end of November this year. It's really hard to wait to post all of these because they're just sitting here collecting dust for half a year. I just want to share them all right now. But I'm like, no, I should wait. I want to be consistent. I want to keep up RWBY Tuesdays. So it's just gotta wait. Gotta wait.
Wow.
It's tough.
October.
Going into November now.
Is it kind of like you just publish a fic and you're like, oh shit, I don't even remember writing this one?
That has happened many times. I mean, for several stories, because on fanfiction you can put up to 50 documents that you want to work on. Thankfully, they bumped it up to 50 because it used to be only like 20. And I was like, I need more space. But now that there's 50, I'll look through what's on my list, what's for this week, and I have gone to so many documents to edit them. I don't even remember writing this. When did I do that? And I surprised myself with what I came up with 3 months ago because I forgot about it entirely. Yeah, that's gonna happen a lot.
God damn. I cannot wait till you're just like, you finish this freezer burn fic and come mid-October, like, the fuck is this? It's just like, I don't even remember.
Oh, definitely. Because I don't start editing a story until like a couple weeks before it's gonna be posted. So it'll be October. I'll be like, where did I get this idea?
But
I
now
wrote
you have
this.
video proof, or not video proof, you now have a
True.
video mark for this
Recording
fic, so,
proof.
yeah.
Yes.
It'll be on my YouTube channel forever.
And then, oh yeah, I almost forgot. I have to post my Easter story tomorrow.
Oh yeah, true. You've been talking about that Easter story, yeah.
Ah,
There's definitely questions later on that will
got it on my
allude
list.
to how much you write. What are things that you'd like to see from RWBY in the future? And this is from Minister of Defenestration on Tumblr.
Things I'd like to see from RWBY in the future. Well, there's the obvious things, like I'd like to see more of just Team RWBY in general. I want to know backstories, more in depth. I want more partner moments, like not because we had the Bumblebee, but what we gotten from Ruby and Weiss, we haven't had too much of them. We've had enough.
We've had fan
but
service.
pretty much. But I'd like to see more developed and meaningful interactions between partnerships within Team RWBY and then the other pairs like Ruby and Blake and Weiss and Yang and sisters and then Weiss and Blake. And then, you know, I want to know where they're going with the plot, obviously. Like, what's Cinder's deal? I kind of want to know the bad guys' backstories, too, of course. I want to know everyone's backstories, because I want to know who I should feel sorry for and who I should just kick to the curb.
General Dickwad.
Yeah, right? But also, the music, of course, music's incredible. We all know that. But we've had songs for Nora and Ren. We have Boop, and we have Shine for Pyrrha and John, and we have
the other song that's Pyrrha and John that I actually really like, and I don't remember what the name of it is. What is it called?
I'm not.
Dream Come True.
Yeah, yes. And we have Wings for Weiss and Blake. We have Gold for Yang and Ruby, but we don't have any Ruby Weiss or Blake and Yang songs yet. So I kind of want those partnership songs really badly.
Lots of Ruby Summer songs too.
Yes, we have to know about Summer too.
Because we want to cry more.
Right?
Like, Jeff,
that's
please.
what we do. And of course, knowing the other characters better too, about Winter and Team Coffee and all the new characters. But mainly, I want to know more about Ruby and her team first and foremost.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Because then I'll have more stuff to write about.
Yeah, you write primarily within Team RWBY.
Yes.
You are
everyone. I've written one Ren and Nora, which was actually pretty sad
that.
and and I've hinted here and there about Ren and Nora and then John and Pyrrha, and I have written them here and there, like in last year's Easter fic, the Great Beacon Egg Hunt, and then in the one where everyone's stuck in the elevator cramped. But I have not ever written an official Jean Pyrrha fic yet, because they just don't interest me as much as Team RWBY girls do yet, so maybe one day in the future that'll change, but for right now, no.
Alright. Which is fair, and also very, very rarely do we see appearances by Sun as well.
Yes,
boyfriend.
I've only written Sun.
Yeah, I remember that.
I wrote him with Weiss for my friend Sire's birthday last year, Nexus Flameheart.
Tooth and Nail.
Yes, I really enjoyed that one because it was different, because they clash so well, but it was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, that fun fact that was mentioned in the author spotlight. Yay!
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
Ooh,
that was one of the 15 stories that I read by you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, I think I remember now. You were saying a while ago in the last video the ones you'd read from me.
Next question: what was the first RWBY story you remember reading?
Got it. Red and White by Blackened Hearts, who his name's John, and I kind of bumped him into the Tumblr world. On Tumblr he's Blackened Essence, and on fanfiction he's Blackened Hearts. And Red and White was the first one I ever read, And I just remember going through all the chapters, because each chapter was a different story about Ruby and Weiss.
Mm-hmm.
And each one I was just like, oh, this is so cute. This is so cute. And then some were really sad, but then really cute again. And that was actually when I was reviewing his story. That's where I was saying, oh, I think I want to try writing for this too. And he was the very first person I talked to in the RWBY fandom. And he was saying, oh yeah, well, giving me little tips like, because I'd never written girl and girl before romantically. I'd written like friendships and like hinting at romance before, but I've never written romantic female relationships before RWBY. So he was helping me out a little bit with that, just saying, if you don't like it, edit it, or you can send it to me if you want to. And after I posted my first story, which was The Huntress and the Heiress, he was the first person to talk to me about it and give me feedback on it. And his was the first story I read.
All right. That was the 5th story, I believe. 5th story published on fanfiction.net. I want to say it was the 5th. I could be horribly off base.
It was one of the very first RWBY fics in that category.
Damn it. I was so close. It was the 4th.
Ah. Good enough.
I was so close. Yeah, that was a Emmy had the 5th one. Parabola Beam and Blackened Hearts.
Yes.
Throwback.
The classic
the original
writers.
I feel I said original the way I originally phrased it. I'm like, well, I actually don't know. Like, it could just be like 2 girls, 2 guys, or 2 like whatever else. So I said the original king and queen of RWBY fanfiction, and I don't know if like that's actually a fair thing to do. And now I know. I didn't know. Yes. I didn't know that his name was Jean. His name was John.
Yeah.
Hard J.
Not Jean.
Whoops. Wrong guy. So I can say the original king and queen of RWBY fanfiction.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh God. If you'd give me an hour, I'd just talk about Other Side and Emmy. I'd just talk about Emmy for a long time. But let's not.
Let's not do that.
That's for another day.
Hey, I still have to edit this.
Yes.
All right.
Next time.
Well,
Yeah.
Other side was pretty advanced. It was a pretty advanced second RWBY fanfiction.
Yes.
All right.
So good.
Up next is another user submitted question. I'm gonna be saying that a lot. This one is from XX Mr. Link XX.
Mm-hmm.
What convinced you to join Tumblr?
Oh, they asked me this in my inbox the other night. My sister.
Oh, you whore.
My sister couldn't be join Tumblr because she first found it and she was always on it, and all I did with my life was like mess around online or write poetry. Before I wrote fan fictions, I did poetry, which is where I derived my username from. And so I tried Tumblr, and it was pretty fun. I liked making edits for the old animes I used to watch. I would Photoshop and stuff, and yeah, I've been here ever since. Never changed my theme once, because I don't know how.
You don't know how. Well, there's an edit theme button. You can just pick another.
Oh yeah, but I'm scared because I don't want to lose my music, and then I'm going to lose my links and my fanfiction link and all that.
That's fair. That's fair. Also, I'd like to, first of all, I was talking about Mr. Link when I said you whore. Also, Mr. Link, I'm sure that you're a wonderful person. I did not mean anything by that. Just, you're whoring out your question to, well, technically you just went to Hana twice. It's just you used a middleman once.
To get to me.
This is just really awkward. I didn't mean anything by it. All right, next question. Oh, balls. All right, well, we kind of answered this one already, but what made you decide to write for RWBY?
John helped convincing me. Like, I decided that I wanted to do it myself, but he helped, and reading other people's stories like Emmy's helped motivate me, like, wow, I really got to get into this. And I originally only planned to do just 1 or 2, and here I am.
And then
right
you did
now
1 or 2,000.
145 later, with 30-ish more to post in future weeks. 145, yes. Well, with tomorrow's will be 145.
Okay, you know, fuck, it's 145. It's 1:40. Oh, hey, also over here, Arizona time, 1:45 p.m.
Oh, is it?
Yep. Illuminati. All right.
Nice. And then I think there's about 20 that I've finished that have not yet been posted
Jesus
to.
Christ.
So
That's kind of ridiculous.
this is my life.
It is your life. Not about that.
I have no regrets.
No regrets. Shoutouts to We're the
all.
Millers. Still my favorite scene. All right. You're like the second person ever to get anons. The other
Ooh.
one being Ivory. Yeah, Ivory was the other one that got it. So, and this one actually touches upon something else that you do that you hinted at briefly, which may or may not be in the interview, may or may not be in story time.
We'll find out later.
How do you get ideas for your role plays?
For the role plays. Usually first my role play started 2 years ago on Twitter, and I just made a Weiss account for myself.
Queen Schnee, right?
Yes, Queen Schnee's the handle, and then also my roleplay blog on Tumblr too. My Weiss one. I have
Why go anything
roleplay
different?
blogs for all of Team RWBY. But I started on Twitter, and then by total chance, Techno Skittles, Ash became my Ruby, and then we got Weiss Rabbit as our Yang. We got Heyo Mr. Couch Potato as our Blake. We got Old Painless as Penny. We got Nexus Flameheart as Sun. We got Office Lady Thyme as Pyrrha. We got whole group, and we had our roleplay on Twitter. And then I eventually just came to Tumblr. I said, I'll make a blog here too. And the first roleplay I ever did, I can't remember it. I have a list actually right here.
I hope that's not a question later on in the show.
I
hope that's not a question later on in the show. What was your first roleplay?
Oh, well, I won't say it then.
I have no idea if it is or not. I don't remember these questions, in all honesty.
It might have been, like, well, I have so many roleplay partners on Tumblr. I have Emmy. Emmy might have been my first partner, I'm not sure.
That's adorable.
With bitter drinks or something like that. But I have Emmy, I have Aaron, I have Ash, different Ash from the Twitter Ash. This is the different Ash. That's Kokkoro with 2 Ks.
Okay.
And then there's Rose Red Ruby, and A-Ravi, and Snow White and Little Red, and Jenny, and just lots of people. But the ideas for the roleplays usually either I'll think of it or my partner thinks of it, and I just say, hey, do you want to try this with me? And they'll say yes or no, and if they say yes, then we try it out. And that's pretty much it. I mean, role-playing is a lot more time-consuming, but it's also a bit more fun than writing just by myself, because you get to bounce off each other's replies, and you can plan out together, which I know my partner for Renegades, which is like one of my bigger roleplays right now, Ash, we text each other every night about this roleplay, about what we're going to do. We plan out in detail, in depth, and we can go on for hours just talking about how we're going to expand the storyline and everything. But with some other partners, we just private message back and forth. Hey, let's do this. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's this, back and forth. And we just pretty much bounce ideas off each other and see what we like and see what we want to keep in the story or what we want to cut out. And somehow we make a story out of it. I don't really know how to explain it other than that.
Next question. Another viewer submitted question. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Do you aspire to create original fiction in the future? And this one is from 3Dimensionalizing.
I have been toying with the idea of, writing either a light novel or novella or something like that. I have a general plot and idea planned out in my head for what I want to do with it, and like the characters I want to create and the names I want to give them, but I just been so busy with RWBY. I want to write as much RWBY as I can and get all that done with, and I'll focus on the other stories and my original characters and my original storyline later. But definitely I do plan to hopefully get published one day, books or even just one book. And either way, it's going to be a big thanks to RWBY and the creation of RWBY and everyone in the fandom for helping me and inspiring me to write as much as I am now. Because actually before RWBY came along, I was getting into a writing funk, and I had stopped posting fan fiction, and I stopped writing, and I just didn't have anything interesting to write about anymore. And for several months, I didn't post any stories, and I was just gonna give up writing. And then RWBY happened, and I've never been more productive in my life.
All right. I can
So
fully believe that.
hopefully, one day, if I can make my own stories, it will be. I'll have like that little, you know, shout out in the first page of the book that says, big thanks to the RWBY fandom, and shout out to Rooster Teeth and stuff like that on the first page of my book.
Yeah.
Even before RWBY, I had maybe about 100, around 200 stories written, I think. But like in those earlier years, I was more productive, and then it was just like everything declined around about 3 years ago, and I was less and less productive. More school, more taekwondo,
And then the Fire Nation attacked.
And then the Fire Nation called RWBY attacked. that was
Kind of appropriate.
the end of that.
To Cinder.
Yeah, right.
Granted, we didn't know who Cinder was for 16 episodes, but
we found out eventually.
we found out. Well, did we though? Like, have we really?
Yeah, we still we know her last name, and she shoots arrows. That's about it.
Yeah, she does. She uses a bow.
Yes, I was really excited about that because in in my first RWBY relationship week batch of stories, I had mentioned offhandedly a non-important character using arrows. I totally made it up. And then when I saw Cinder had arrows in the show, I was like, oh my god! I was so excited.
No, I've been giving characters bows for forever just because I love bows and arrows. I'm just like, this would be super cool to have. And then Cinder had it. And of course Cinder had it. Like, just make Cinder cooler.
Well, she is pretty hot.
She is. Hot damn.
She has to be cooler.
Oh wow.
I'm trying to make the puns.
God
it's not
damn
working.
It. The fast track off my show. No. Up next, are you going? Another viewer submitted question. Are you going to pursue writing as a career or taekwondo? And this one is from Skyer or Skier to Fox.
Skyer. Well, I've heard it pronounced Skyer, but I definitely
to Fox.
Yes, the freezer burn.
Yeah,
person,
freezer
the
burn
ruler, captain. That's the good one, captain. I do I've always wanted to be a writer, but it's not exactly the best career option in this day and age. But it's definitely something I want to pursue, even as just a side job, if that's a thing. But on the side. I never want to stop writing, that's for sure, because I love it, and I just want to keep growing as a writer and keep expanding my horizons. But if I could make a career out of it, I definitely would love to do that. But I want to also continue with my taekwondo for as long as possible. It's been just about 10 years now since I started, and I'm the only original student from my master's first group that's still there. Everyone else has left, and I'm the only one who's stuck with him since his first year opening for 10 years. And I've worked my way up the ranks, and I've earned my spot there, and I want to keep going with it as long as possible. Also, I don't think it's really enough to make a career out of being an instructor. I think being an actual master is where you make the money, and I don't think I'll ever get there, but definitely I'll keep going with taekwondo as long as I can, and hopefully his school won't close down or ever move or anything like that, and hopefully I won't either, and I'll just be here. Taekwondo, school, and then writing every day, all day, every day, and I'll be happy with that.
The dream.
That's the dream. With 5 cats, at least.
5 cats, all right. I know what kind of a person you are now. Yeah, then again, I see pictures of your cat occasionally. Your cat just doing cat things.
There's 2 in my room right now. I'm trying not to yell at them for knocking over my plants.
Oh, cats will do that. I wouldn't blame you. Most of Haley's interview was taken over once Jake showed up. Granted, is a dog, but yeah, no, good aspirations to have there. And also, you said, are you close down or move, and hopefully I won. I'm just picturing like a giant, like you just wearing like a sign around your like a cat shaming sign,
Closed.
just foreclosure.
I'm closed. Sorry.
Guys, close down. I can't come into the studio anymore. The sign just doesn't fit through the door. That'd be pretty funny.
I closed.
Next question. And this one, I might be able to take a guess as to what the answer to this one is, and you know, based on the background, other people might as well. Who's your favorite character?
I don't know. Probably Jean. No. That's a shout out to Zilther. Exelathopec, however you say it. I can never say their name. I'm sorry.
I just
because
I hear Zilth all the time. That's all
I hear Zilth, but they specifically say it's pronounced Exelathopec, and I just
caps lock.
Sure, whatever you say.
I just pronounced her name.
They
caps
know
lock.
it. But I've had that question on my blog several times. Who's your favorite RWBY character? And I always reply with guess. And Zilth always will say Jean, Cardin, Oobleck, and I'm like, yep, you got me. You know it.
Oobleck? Oobleck's not that bad.
Yeah, oh yeah, Oobleck's
Iron
great, but,
Dick would be the one that I'd use in place of Oobleck.
Oh my god, I never heard that name for him. Well, thank you, Glinda, I guess. But yeah, judging by the icon and the fact that the first trailer I ever saw, and the only plushie I have,
and the entire color scheme,
all the roleplay blogs on Twitter and on Tumblr I have that I actually use, I'm gonna have to say Weiss.
Not to mention the color scheme of the background.
The person I cosplay.
Yeah.
The only cosplay I spent that much money on, so I could be probably Weiss.
I love
that wig. The wig with hair as long as my actual hair, so it's just like 10 pounds of hair on my head, 5 of which aren't mine.
I love this question. I love the who's your favorite character question, because it's either like I have you on and your background is basically patterned after Weiss. I bring on Emmy, and Emmy's background is basically patterned after Weiss. And then I get some people that are kind of, there's this, and this. Like when I had Chrissy on, she like gave reasons for why like 3 different people were like characters that she really loved, or like 4 different people. I think all of Team RWBY were like her favorite characters, basically. So yeah. I love this question because of that. Just because it's one or the other.
You can tell so much about a person based on their favorite RWBY character.
I don't know what this says about you.
I really do. I love Blake too. Yeah, like Blake's top. Weiss and Blake are my top 2, and yet I don't ship it as much as I ship the other 2. But I love Blake.
Blake is great.
Blake.
Blake is
wonderful.
But
I know. I love Yang. I love RWBY. I love the main 4. But Weiss is Weiss. Yes.
The main 4, the characters in RWBY overall have a lot of potential, and I'm really excited to have them develop more. You can hear more about what I think about the characters on the Fan and Interpretations episodes that I'm releasing right now. Woo! I actually just finished Team RWBY the other day.
Ooh.
Click on, by the way, since it's not April Fool's anymore, click on the one with the O in Yang Xiaolong and not the 0. That's that's the right episode, because it just so happened that it fell on April Fool's when I released it. It fell on April Fool's. So I'm like, I'm going to release an episode as a joke, or I'm going to release something as a joke. And it's about 40, it's the intro plus like 25 seconds of extra dialogue of like me talking about it. And then it's just don't go chasing waterfalls with April Fool's on the screen. That's all it is all it is. So that's the one with the 0. So if you want the actual Yanks, but I just finished up Team RWBY. That means next is J and P of Juniper, Jean and Pyrrha, since they are the only ones that have any real canon substance to talk about within relation to the fanon. And then after that is other people, and I don't know my schedule. I don't know my own schedule. Roman, Cinder, Sun, and Neptune, maybe? I don't know. Fuck it. That's going on, though. Self-plugging,
Those guys.
Yeah, those guys. This one's interesting. Which character do you associate yourself with the most? This one is from Trouble his name? Trouble Foster. There we go. Trouble Foster one. God damn.
I honestly would have to go with Weiss again. Not just because, even with all the role playing I've done, I honestly don't think I'm a good Weiss role player. Like, I don't think I capture her character as well as Ask Weiss Wolf or as well as Ivory does. Because I'm only role playing her because she's my favorite, not because I think I'm like her. But after all the years and the months in this fandom, I guess I'd have to say I am most like Weiss because when I like you, I like you. And when I don't like you, I don't like you.
That's fair.
I'm very clear cut about these kind of things. I will turn into a bitch in 0.5 seconds, but I will also be like the most loyal, affectionate person ever if you want me to be. And I like to yell at people, as most of the people know, because they don't take care of themselves. And I have a list of people that I know. I was talking about it the other night. How I keep a list of people's names, and next to each name I put descriptions of all the horrible things or injuries they've gotten over the years. Because I have a list of people, so I will go back to all those people and I will yell at them on a weekly or monthly basis to make sure. Did you get hit by a car again? Did you break your neck again? Did you break your arm again? Haley? Stuff like that. So yeah, I like to yell at people because I love them.
Huh.
That's basically. And I'm short. I have the same hair. I have the same hair length up to my hips. You know, I guess Weiss, everything. I love wearing white.
All right.
White's a great color. I like white because you can.
Top.
White's great by itself, but you can also make it any color you want.
Yeah.
I like it.
See, I go the opposite route. My favorite color to wear is black because I don't have to worry about matching it with anything.
Oh, true. Black makes you look better.
Not necessarily better.
Always...
It makes my job easier.
I will always choose. We have in Taekwondo, we have white uniforms, we have black uniforms, and usually the black belts wear black. But you have the option to wear white too, and I will always choose black though. I'll always wear the black one.
Fair. That is totally fair. Also, I didn't mention this earlier. I'm wearing my white shirt for this interview in honor of.
Perfect.
Because
Perfect.
I mentioned it before. I have for Team RWBY. I picked out 4 writers because as awesome as art and cosplay are, it's very, very rare that you have a chance to see people like try and really fully embody these characters, unless you're Ass Kitten Tits, in which case you just are Blake and Yang on a permanent level. But so I have people associated with writers, and you're Weiss in that list. Like for me, you're Weiss on there. So you talked about too. You're like, I don't think I portray Weiss that great, and I'm like, shit, you just shut up. you're like the person I shout every time I mention Weiss.
There are like, you know, certain stories where I've said in the author's notes, she's going to be out of character, or like, you know, I'll make characters out of character just for the sake of the story and what I want to do in the story. But I do, honest to God, I try to keep them in character as much as possible. But Weiss is always, as much as I love her, she's always the hardest one to write because I want her to be perfectly written in terms of her character. And I'm never sure if I'm doing it right. And I
think you are.
Thank you. It's up to my readers to give me that feedback.
Next question is from a name that I will not be able to pronounce whatsoever. I have no idea what the hell this name will be, so I apologize
Give it a
in
shot.
advance. This is going to be entertaining for you. Are there any characters in RWBY that at first you didn't love but grew to love, and vice versa? This one is from the Sai the.
Oh, Deus the Wolf. That's how I say it.
All right.
Yeah. I know him.
Listen to Hana.
Yeah, we talk a lot. Gotta think for a second. I actually really, despite how little I write of her, I really do love Pyrrha. I love Pyrrha so much. Like, she is the sweetest, most Canadian, beautiful, I'm sorry, everything.
Most Canadian.
Goddess. She's so great. I love her so much. And I didn't think I would. Like, I honestly thought she was going to be, like, the fan servicey, like, if we were going in the anime kind of style thing.
Boobs.
Because when, you know, Jean's pinned against the tree and it's just like, oh, hi, cleavage, I was like, oh, great, one of those.
Boobs.
But it was only a one-time thing, and, you know, I forgive it.
There are very few characters that are just boobs.
Yes, thank
It's
God.
Yang and Pyrrha. And Glinda.
Yes, and Cinder in her cat suit.
Okay, I wouldn't say necessarily that's what I wouldn't even say that's what defines Cinder in the catsuit. I think that there's a lot of
I
things
guess.
to
Yeah.
I
But
think Glinda would be the other arguable one.
yeah, probably. I didn't think I would like Oobleck as much as I do.
Ah, he's
Like I
fun.
thought he's great. He was great. I pretty much, other than that, I pretty much like what I thought I would like about the characters. The ones I thought I'd like, I ended up liking, and the ones I didn't think I'd like, I ended up not liking as much. I don't really like Jean that much, just because he's gotten too much of the spotlight, in my opinion. And we could go on about that for hours, but
I did tune in to watch my show, Cody Talks RWBY, and that will tell you what I thought about Sean getting another arc.
No, John, I've had enough. I had enough 2 seasons ago. And I was miffed about Sun and Neptune constantly butting into Team Ruby's.
Yeah, but they didn't really do anything.
Deal. Exactly. They butt in, but they're not important.
No,
so I was like, all right.
They're just kind of there for they're
fine.
comic relief, really.
Yeah.
They're pretty much comic relief at this point. There's like one competent male character in the whole series that we've really gotten to see, because we haven't seen anything out of Ozpin yet, obviously. And it's Roman.
Yeah, it really is. Like, Ren has shot the guns and then fallen in space.
Ren has just gotten the shit kicked out of him. I think he's lost more than Jean, or he's lost only fewer things than Jean has. I think he's only like one up on Jean, because fun fact,
but he's still a better character.
Fun fact, well, he hasn't said anything yet. We don't know.
Oh, true.
But fun fact, Jean, Ren, and Blake all have one thing in common. And that is that they are the only characters to lose every single fight that they had in the food fight.
You noticed that?
Yeah, I kept track of that because I thought it would be entertaining for later.
I need to rewatch that.
I don't know if I would count the tornado as losing, because if I do, then then every character lost, except but if I don't, then Nora and Pyrrha never lost.
Yeah, consider it. And then back. If I was gonna. Zwei. I liked Zwei as a mascot, but he wasn't too necessary. I feel. I mean, I don't know.
Just kind of
like
there.
Now that he's here. But I didn't think his introduction was totally necessary.
It wasn't, but it was the best way to apologize for the prom arc. They gave us a dog.
I guess if that's it. But yeah, I pretty much. I like most of the characters, and I like Zwei, and I'll learn to like Jean, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
One day.
Question. Since you haven't really gotten any time with any members of Coffee or the other two S's and Sun, and really not even that much time with any of the other teachers, like, are there any characters, like, right now that you feel as though, like, you might really like might really grow to like Coco or Velvet, or like let's just go to Coffee. Do you think like you're gonna really like anybody from Coffee?
It's hard because we don't know too much about
we don't
them
I'm just
yet.
saying, like, initial impressions.
Yeah, just from seeing them and stuff. Like, I like Velvet. She's great. She's a bun. She's a bun. I love Velvet. I was disappointed about the whole thing of how, Cardin was picking on her, and like her team was never there to back her up, that kind of thing. Like, I was like, all right, that's a little ridiculous, or they just didn't really think it through that much because they didn't want to introduce her team yet.
Velvet wasn't
I guess
even supposed to be in Volume 2.
Yeah.
So
but she's, Velvet's badass. We're gonna find out what's in that box. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And
I hope Dash is right. I still hope that Dash is right.
And then I like Coco already. She is a bit OP, or a lot OP, actually. She's hella OP. She's really... But I feel like when they're off the battlefield, Team Coffee will be like really chill senpais and stuff like that. They're gonna like... I hope that they're really chummy with their underclassmen, and they talk to them and stuff like that. And from what I like my personal headcanons about Yatsuhashi, I feel I'll like him too. Like,
He's the guardian. He's the protector.
yeah, he's the big tree who watches over everybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Coco may have a minigun, but honestly, like, try and shoot Yatsuhashi. Like, that's probably gonna do
right?
nothing.
The tank. And Fox is pretty awesome. I think I'm gonna like all of them, but you know, I'm gonna mainly still stick to the RWBY girls as my favorites and stuff like that.
Probably. I don't see that changing.
I like Dash's headcanons about Sage and Scarlet too, of how like they're like big bros kinda. Like to Team RWBY, like they all have their brother figures to one of the RWBY girls, something like that. And I think Sage and
You'll get it right one day.
I think I'll like Sage and Scarlet more than some other characters that we currently know right now, even.
Ironwood.
I
feel as though that's like the one character that's just like universally agreed on by the hand. I'm like, yeah, fuck this guy.
We're all kind of just like, what have you done for us so far? Nothing?
What have you done for me lately? Nothing, except be a huge dick.
Yeah, right? I mean,
Fuck Ironwood.
Oh, I haven't talked about Penny. I love Penny.
Oh, yes,
I didn't think I would like Penny. I initially thought, I was like, oh, she's gonna be... And Nora, too. And I realized that it's a...
Not Nora, Penny.
Like...
Wait, we don't really need to protect Penny.
Both. Oh. Yeah, we don't really...
We need to protect
but,
shit.
like, I realized it was, like, totally by chance. A random thing that I noticed was that I didn't think I would like the girls with short hair. I was like, I didn't think I'd like RWBY as much, because she's gonna be, like, a little whiny baby, and boy, was I wrong. And I didn't think I'd like Penny as much, because I thought she'd be, like, the ditzy, I'm so cute, and I'm just gonna fall over everywhere and be useless. I don't know. Or was I wrong again? And
useless, yeah. You're
right?
A little bit off base.
I was kind of off. And then Nora, I didn't think I'd like her just because she was just, like, so hyperactive. And I thought she was going to be, like, a space case kind of deal. But boy, am I glad that none of the characters are like that.
Yeah.
Because I love all of them a lot more than I thought I would.
Nora sent Yang to the moon.
Right?
What you say that.
Ooh, Penny. But yes, I love everyone.
This one is from Jenny. Hey, look, wow, this is like...
Let's try this again.
Half an hour ago, totally nothing happened.
We'll cut it out.
Or we might cut it into story. I can't spin
time.
around in my chair because I have headphones in. Let's just rip them out. Can't do that. This one's from Jenny. What is your easiest character to write for?
Easiest.
Weiss.
You'd think it'd be Weiss, but like I said, I'm very nitpicky with her because, in my opinion, Emmy writes best Weiss. Emmy writes best everybody. I can never write Weiss as good as Emmy or lots of other, like Ivory, Ask Weiss Wolf, as these people could write her. I can't do it.
I beg to disagree.
And Ash too. Kokkoro, Ash, she writes Weiss. So good. I can't. Anyway, but I actually it's pretty easy for me to write Yang. I don't know why. Like, I really like writing the protective big sister type, and like she's always looking after everybody. But I also get to throw in a bit of humor with her. I'll put in jokes here and there. I'll always, but I can do so many things with Yang. I can have her be the big sister. I can have her be the funny, character. I can have her be like the badass, serious, I'm going to murder you
party girl.
She has all different types. Yeah, she has a party girl, and she just has a bunch of different aspects to her that I could write. And no matter whichever situation I'm writing about, I can easily fit Yang into it. Whereas I might not be able to fit Blake or Weiss or RWBY in as easily or as comfortably. But Yang, I can usually do pretty well. I think. Okay, and then I just wanted to put in really quickly that even though they weren't as easy, I really enjoy writing Roman, Penny, and Sun, and like Crime. I always want to pronounce it cream. When I read it, I pronounce it cream, but it's crime.
I know, that was my favorite thing, was Team Cream.
But Team Cream. But I don't write them that much. Yeah. I don't write Cinder much. I like writing her. I'm not good at it, but I like it. Cinder. I hate my Cinder.
All right.
hate
Well,
it so
we'll
much.
just agree to disagree.
Yes, I liked writing. I've only written Penny a few times. I've only written Roman a few times,
Yeah.
but it was really
I have
fun.
not actually
And
read your Roman, and I feel like I should because Roman's like one of my favorite characters. He
my
really is.
Roman, he's only been in like very briefly.
Ah,
I remember
write a whole Roman
my
story. I'll see you in December.
no, my first RWBY relationship week ever. I rolled Roman and Glinda, and I wrote them as like younger kids, and that was where I wrote him the most. But then here and there, he was in like Eternal,
Oh,
like
shitty. What? Oh,
uh,
no, I didn't read that one. I'm thinking of another one. I'm thinking of another one. You
but
said that. I'm like, oh.
he's just been in the background with Cinder. Like he'll put in a snarky comment or like call Emerald a brat or whatever, and then that's it. I
Living
think
that thug life.
last RWBY relationship week, I rolled Cinder and Emerald, and I had him just like briefly. No, I rolled. It was Roman and Emerald,
Uh,
and it was just those two interacting, and there's like assholes to each other, like shut, like they, like Emerald fights for Cinder's unbridled
mhm.
affection at all times, and Roman's just like, whatever, she's not that great, and Emerald's like, no, she is so great.
Emeralds.
That's the extent. I've really only written him a few
Yeah.
times, but it was fun,
God.
and I love writing Penny.
I do work.
She's
Oh,
so
Penny's fun
great.
too.
I
Penny's a lot of
love
fun.
writing Penny. She is.
I
I need to write her more.
Yeah. What's your favorite ship? I
Well,
wonder what this will be.
how
Wait.
long ago was it?
I got this.
Yes. Do you need a
I
drum roll?
I got no. I got this. I know what your favorite ship is.
You got it. I
Cinder
know
and
what you're
Emmy.
gonna say too. I knew you're gonna say something like that too. As I do try to enjoy it as much as I can, but
It's
it's
not
not for
everyone's cup of
me.
tea. Or the way I phrased it with Emmy. If you don't ship it, I don't judge you. If you do ship it, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Because it's wrong with me too, obviously. It's wrong with all of us who ship it. But yes, my first story I ever wrote, first two trailers I ever saw, it is White Rose, and consequently, Bumblebee goes with that. And like even as just I'm just so happy that they are partners.
Mhm.
Those two pairs are partners because they work so well together,
I
and
think it's the best possible
even
pairing for partnership.
there really
For an
is.
interesting
And
partnership dynamic. Obviously, things would probably be more productive if Ruby and Yang were together. But
yeah, I understand that too. But
also,
even
what's your favorite ship? Bottom left and bottom right hand corners of the screen. Hey, background.
right, yeah, he knew. Everybody knows. One person actually a while ago like gave me the nickname the Rose Writer, not White Rose, but
Yeah, I remember
Rose,
that.
as in it. It
Didn't
implies white rose, but also flowers because Hana and
I think
writing,
that
and
was
so that's
I
always
think
kind of
that
been
was
my
your
title, as the
sign
Rose
off.
Writer.
Wasn't that your like
Hmm?
sign off on fanfiction.net for a little bit? The Rose Rider? Like
Yes.
wasn't that included on your story somewhere?
It was
Or am I
on my
wrong?
it's on my profile. It
Okay,
says
there we go.
nickname is like Hana the Rose Writer, and yeah, that's pretty much. But yes, White Rose. I do very very guiltily ship monochrome. I love Weiss and Blake,
It's so
and I
good.
love Freezerburn, and I love Ladybug. But it's who I am, and people will turn their noses up at me for it. But I love White Rose.
What writers slash stories did you draw inspiration from?
Draw inspiration from. Well, as I said before, Blackened Essence or Blackened Hearts. John was the first RWBY fanfic I read, and that was like after I read his RWBY Weiss fix, I started saying, "Oh, I'm definitely gonna do this now because someone else did it.
Mhm.
So I guess people like it, and it's okay that I do this." So that was where I started with RWBY and Weiss with the Huntress and the Heiress, and I read a lot of John's fics for a while, and then there was Emmy, who I still remember the first time I read Other Side. I had to go to Taekwondo in like half an hour, and I just could not stop reading the story. I was like, I can't stop halfway through. I can't. I have to keep reading it because I just wouldn't be, because if I went to Taekwondo for 4 hours, I wouldn't be able to concentrate. I'd just be thinking, oh my god, what happened in that story? What happened in that story? Oh my god. And just that story alone blew me away. I'm sure I know a lot of other
Yeah.
people feel the same.
First story to
I
100
actually
favorites.
never I actually didn't read the end of it
Rip.
until a year later because it was not safe for workish, and I was just like, I can't do it. I
You
can't.
are
And it
just
took
an
me like
innocent
a
child.
whole year, and it was hard. But I did it, and I finished it, and so that's still, to this day, I remind Emmy that is my favorite piece of writing I've ever come across. Like, I've read The Great Gatsby, I've read Wuthering Heights, I've read all Shakespeare, but Other Side is my favorite thing in the world ever. But other than those,
You can go outside of
two-
fandom, by the way, for this one.
oh really, for like
Yeah.
drawing inspiration? Well, since I mentioned Wuthering Heights, I really liked Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte because I read it for school. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but for some reason I really, really did. And that wasn't really anything that inspired me to write, but it sure helped, keep me going because I loved the writing style there and the characters and the interactions that they had with one another. And that definitely helped me to, like, say that writing is definitely something I should keep doing if I want to be able to write like this one day. And I really drew inspiration from a lot of Emily's. There's Emmy, who's an Emily, and there's Emily Bronte, and there's Emily Dickinson with my poetry, and yeah, lots of Emily's.
That name is
I noticed it a while ago.
You have a type. You have a writing type.
What?
Yeah. Anyways, that person, the Wolf, I'm just gonna call them because fuck if I know. Are there any writers and artists you look up to both within and outside of the fandom?
Well, there's obvious answer of Emmy, who is my ultimate senpai, as I call her. Because I have senpais, and then I have ultimate senpai, who is only and always Emmy. Because she is just... If you don't already know about it, you can check my Emmy tag, and you can look at the Emmy essay, and that'll tell you all you need to know. But Emmy is fantastic, and amazing, and incredible, and adorable, and an awesome writer. But I also really, really, really enjoy Kokkoro's writing, Ash. She's written On the Balcony, which is like a pretty big monochrome fic. She's not finished with it yet, she's still working on it. But just from what I've read of it, I love her writing so much, and it's an honor to be able to... She actually requested, like, when I was looking for roleplay partners, she put herself out there, and I said sure, and we have, like, our first roleplay together was so much fun, and the one we're doing right now, I mentioned before how we text each other every night about what we're going to do with this because we're so invested in it, and it's almost a year old now, and we're consistently writing back and forth to each other, and her writing is just so great. I love it, and I've seen myself kind of like change my own style to kind of mirror hers when we're writing the roleplay. But when I write normally, I just have my own style. But when it's that particular roleplay with her, I will always put in extra effort because her writing is just so good and I want to be good enough to be her partner. It's that way with her and with Emmy and most of my roleplay partners, they're so good. I can't.
Yeah, that was a pretty high profile roleplay group that you spat out there. You're fucking dropping names over here.
Well, even where else? We have Pyrrhic Champion. So great. That's my Pyrrha. And I had a Penny too, who was J.K. Knight, was my Penny. He was also awesome. John. And then A-Ravi, who's Aaron. Another Blake. And then Snow White and Little Red is Danny, who's a Ruby. And Jenny is my Yang. And I have Ruby Fix on FFnet, who is also another Yang. Her name's Ione. I have everyone I know by name. I know all my partners. I know all our roleplays, and they're just right. I'm invested in all my friends and their names and what I should call them.
Also, to be fair, Jenny's name is also her URL. You know, unless you're dumb and her Jenil.
But her roleplay blog is Dang Xiaolong. But yeah, that's Jenny, same person.
Dang.
and
Oh,
RWBY
okay.
is like Let's Play Belladonna,
Okay.
and
Dang.
yeah, everyone has 2 blogs. Anyway, I said I'd stop doing tangents, but here I am. And artists, I love so many artists. I don't know where I can. I love Noxie Pep. I love Nox's art. I love Monica's art. Dashing Ice Cream. Bon. I love Diana. I love Kay. I love everybody. They're so great. I draw a lot of inspiration. Actually, is from particularly Nox and Dash and Iesupa, who doesn't have a Tumblr, but she posts on her Twitter, and they just crank out artwork every single day. And like some, I don't know how they
Dash
do
is
it.
ridiculous
They'll make
for artwork.
comics every day.
I really Dash
And
to you. Like, you're the two people that it's just kind of like, you both are just like every single day. It's like, oh, I've got
that's
something
what
done.
that's definitely what I like. I want to keep up with those people. I want to keep up. Like, that's what I have to write every day, unless I am at a tournament for Taekwondo from 6:30 a.m. till 8 p.m. and I literally cannot write. I physically cannot write. I will write every single day, even if it's just a role play reply, or if it's a poem, or if I have an hour in the morning that's free. I write every day because I want to keep up with these people and I want to be worthy of them and their companionship and their awesomeness.
I still love Dash. So how do you manage your time? Oh, I just have a lot of it. I just
Well,
make a lot.
that's my secret right now, because this is like my off semester actually. Even when I was in college and taking classes in school and stuff, I'd have some time between school and Taekwondo or on the weekends where I could write a bit. But since I've been off since December, I've just been nonstop, like, writing
You still kept up
every
Ruby
day.
Tuesday. So.
Yes. And now, since I have Ruby Tuesdays planned until November this year, even if school and Taekwondo and a summer job get in the way, I'll already have it all written. So
it is.
I'm good.
It's really commendable how well you
I just want to
keep up with stuff.
I want to keep up to this so badly.
So much.
Because even before Ruby, I had my Sword Art Online story moments. It was 60 chapters, and it was 1 chapter a week, and for an entire 60 weeks, entire year. And I was consistent, and I kept up with it every time. And I wanted to do that with Ruby. I never thought I would get past the 1 year mark with Ruby Tuesdays, but here I am.
Hey.
And I want to keep going. Keep going.
Well,
Yes,
it's impressive.
yes.
To say the least, it's impressive.
So that's that's the only really. Wow, I'm speaking very well. That cookie really took it out of me. But I really only am being so productive because I do have the time right now. I'm not in school right now. I'm not doing college because I'm poor. So I have most days free, and then Taekwondo in evenings, and then Sundays usually totally free, and weekdays I will write. I get up at 8 o'clock and I will write until 1 o'clock usually, and however much I can get in, and then go Taekwondo in the evening. Sundays are my best writing days. Of course, tomorrow I can't because it's Easter and I won't be home. But, yes, rip me. But my record for writing on a Sunday, like, I just woke up, wrote and wrote and wrote and didn't stop until I was finished. My record for writing on a Sunday was 22 pages in one day, and I want to beat that one day. I'll surpass 22 pages in one day.
Holy shit.
And yes, I will just keep it up. I'm going to keep going.
Even if you don't surpass it, that's really damn impressive.
That was just...
It was a good day.
Sometimes it was a good day. I actually gave myself carpal tunnel syndrome once because I was just writing so much.
No.
And my whole left hand was just numb for like a good 2 or 3 weeks. And thank God it went away, which is good. But I am trying to be more mindful about it now. But even when I had that, it didn't stop me from writing. I kept writing.
Wow.
I used my right hand.
Joke's on you.
But,
I'm right-handed.
Right.
Are you? Okay.
Yes, I am.
I'm just making sure. But it's still commendable that you have the time and you take advantage of it.
I just try and write fast. I try to write a
Gotta go
lot,
fast, man.
and yeah, gotta go fast.
Because I have time. Like I'll have moments of time, and it's just like, well, I guess it's time to play Smite. It's like
See,
all I do.
that's the thing with me is like I don't have a game game consoles. I don't have a computer for games, so I don't have time where I can just play games or watch videos. I'm not really interested in playing games. I'm bad at them, and watching videos is kind of boring to me unless it's Rooster Teeth. But like, because I always need to be doing something with my hands. I need to either be eating as I watch something, or I need to be typing actively and constantly using my hands, or otherwise I just go insane.
I mean, that's fair. It's just
I channel it. And oh yes.
Next question though. Another viewer submitted question because I haven't said that 22 times. I haven't. That's a joke because there's still more. How did you get the idea for White? And this one is from One Day When Time Goes By.
Oh, White was, oh gosh. Okay, there's stories behind that. I totally forgot. I'm so sorry, Chelsea.
Pray tell.
Oh, I'm so sorry I forgot to mention Chelsea in our Twitter RP, but she, Papa Schnee. Chelsea was our Papa Schnee, and she didn't roleplay like the stern Papa Schnee that everyone thinks about. She roleplayed the goofy, idiot, Flappy Bird playing Papa Schnee, and we would just have so many conversations about our headcanons about how great Papa Schnee, like a nice Papa Schnee, a good, happy daddy who loves his daughters and loves Weiss and treats her nicely and all that. And like we did a role play together about it, and it was great, and people loved it. And White was a bunch of ideas we had thrown around, and I just put it all into one story. And it was pretty much for Chelsea and for all the ideas we shared together, and I wrote it for her, and she really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it too. And I found a lot of other people like never really considered that kind of character for Weiss's father, but when they read it like that, almost every response was, I really hope, I know he's not going to be like this, but it would be really nice if he was, because it would just be great if Weiss had a nice father, kind of thing. And yeah, White was just Papa Schnee with, good guy. Good guy Papa Schnee. And it was nice, and it was cute, and I liked writing it.
Is there, another viewer submitted question, is there a specific line you've written that has stuck with you most?
A specific line. I'm very proud of certain lines in certain stories, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. Like, I know there are a lot in Eternal that I really liked, but like I'd need like 10 minutes to go through my stories and look for them. And Gold as well. I know there are some.
Shoutouts to Gold.
I just can't think off the top of my head. Oh my god. Let's see. I have my list up right now. If I can remember which chapter it was in. Oh god, here's Gold. Yeah. I need a lot of time to go through them and like pick out my favorite lines. But there are lines that I'm very proud of writing, and that I really love. I really like some of my summaries for the stories, because like that's a lot of fun for me, is coming up with summaries, because to me that's like the trailer for the movie, and I love making just like the little tidbits that will tell, just the trailer, kind of, and then when you click the story, you'll see the movie or the whole thing. And I like some of my summaries too. And like the quickest one I can think of right now is because it's happening right now is Strangers I Know, and which is what was it? 1 evening to be alone, 2 nights to curl together, 3 days to fall in love. And there's really just simple lines. Sometimes it's just a matter of putting simple words and arranging them in a way that it sounds really profound. But sometimes I'm really proud of like using good vocab words. But again, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but they exist.
That's fair.
Mostly in Eternal and Gold, I would say.
So
Especially
just go read Eternal and Gold, and it will cover it for you. Gold was a trip.
Yes. Where was
Gold was a
trip. I still get like reviews and comments on it even now, even after so long. I was so scared when I was like posting it because, like with all my other stories, I always write the entire thing in advance and then I start posting chapters, so I'm not writing and posting at the same time because I want to make sure everything's finished before I start posting. So everyone, like so many people had gotten in on Gold by like chapter 7, and it was way more than I ever wanted to get involved with it because I didn't want the final chapter to disappoint people because it was so cliche and it was so rushed and everything happened all at once, and I'll
agree that the conclusion was about the only part that didn't do justice to the rest of it. I'm not gonna say it was bad, but
yeah, I was originally only gonna have it be 7 chapters, and then I was like, okay, I need to at least expand it to 8. But at that point, when I was writing, I was like, I don't want to drag it on too much, so I kind of wanted to cut it off, but it was too fast.
I said the climax felt weird. That was my like that's like a valid complaint that I've done for you, which is like one of the only ones. So,
and I think Gold was one of my first multi-fics. It was your first
multi-fic for RWBY, yes.
So it's a first shame that
wasn't 2 chapters. Let me phrase it that way.
Yeah, yes, 2 or 3. But it's a shame that it got so popular, but it still had all these flaws that I couldn't get to.
Okay, well, there was only one
and I didn't know about yet. But it was kind of a big one. Yeah, we know. Well, I've been trying to look through to find one of my favorite writing lines, but I do a lot of the cliche things, where my trademark, even before I wrote RWBY, was like I would always end a fic with the title, and it's so dumb and it's so cliche, but I do it all the time. And I know it's a pet peeve, but sometimes it just works. I haven't done it as much recently, but it was
lame.
I like the ending of Eternal.
Ending it with a name is fine.
Yeah, but I like those last few lines. But again, there were very like specific lines that I liked in Gold, and here and there in other fics. I think, was it Light and Shadow? That one I put a lot of effort into. I tried to expand with the vocab with that one, and that's probably one of my richest stories, even though it's very kind of boring-ish. Not much is going on, but I'm proud of like all the different words I used, and that one doesn't get a lot of recognitions because it's not a very, it's just a one shot and it's not anything groundbreaking. But I'm very proud of it, and there are lots of lines in that one that I like too. But again, off the top of my head, I can't find any.
Yeah, that's fine. I hope that Fairly Sane Writing, you are content with that answer, and you better be.
Yeah.
Because that's the answer you're gonna get, so it's nothing gonna happen. Which fanfics?
They can read and find their own favorite.
Yeah, exactly. Pick your own favorite. That's the point. Which fanfics are you the most proud of, and which are your favorite? That one is another user submitted question from Moekumo. Okay.
Yeah, which is cute spider.
Really?
Because Moe is cute and Kumo is spider, and Kumo's a spider.
Oh.
She always draws herself as a spider.
Okay.
Kumo. Okay, so favorite. Oh, God. Like, of my writing?
Sure.
Well, we already know my favorite is Other Side from Emmy, but
yeah,
from my own...
just say from your own writing, because I think the most proud of thing makes me think that it's about yours.
Yeah, probably. Well, I'm pretty proud of Gold's, like, give or take a couple of things wrong here and there. And I'm proud of Eternal because that was a story I'd planned actually a year before I started writing it. And when I eventually just did start writing it, I was like, all right, I just need to start it, and then I won't stop until I'm finished. And I'm kind of glad that I went through with it and finished it up, because it was like, 11, 12 chapters, and I was proud of that one because I put in a lot of effort for that, and world building, and a lot of multi-chapter fics I love. And then I'll always be proud of The Huntress and the Heiress, just because it was the first one, and my first try at Girl and Girl,
Never forget.
and I like proud
really
of that
good.
one.
That one was good.
I still go back on it sometimes, and I'll like look over my old fics because I know there's spelling mistakes I didn't catch the first time, and so I'll like edit them 5 years later when no one's reading them anymore.
Nice.
Let's see. I'm just kind of scrolling through the list. My list of 144. Tomorrow will be 45.
Hey, we're just gonna call it 145.
I was
by the
actually...
time that this is out.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, it'll be 146.
Really? Oh, yeah, but
It'll
after
be on
next
Wednesday.
Tuesday. Well, next Tuesday. Cool. Next Tuesday is just gonna be another chapter of Strangers.
Okay.
I know it won't be a new
Okay,
fic. So still 145. I don't talk about it much because there are some things, it's kind of a heavy story, but I'm really proud of Roses, which is set in the future AU with Kei and Ami's future AU. I wrote it all in one day, and it deals with a lot of different themes from the usual, and I got pretty good responses from it, and I don't know. I don't like I said, I don't like promoting it that much because there are some not like, how do I say it? It's not pretty, but I'm pretty proud of it. And then Camellias, I'm very proud of because that was set in Dashing Ice Cream's Arranged Marriage AU.
I did read that one.
You did? That one I'm super proud of because when I write, I usually need to write in silence. I always get up early. I write early when no one's awake, no one's talking, no TV is on, nothing. It has to be quiet when I write. That's how I roll. But for Camellias, I'd gotten the idea for it. It was like a Sunday night. I wanted this fic up on RWBY Tuesday. So I wrote at night, TV was on, people were talking. I wrote I think the first chapter was 14 pages. I wrote that on Sunday night, and I wrote 17 pages on Monday night. I had the whole thing done on Tuesday, and I was so proud because I wrote so much. I wrote in a bad working environment, and it came out pretty well.
All right.
So I was proud of Camellias too.
All good. I have actually read a fair amount of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Woo.
It's hard when you list off fics that you've done because there's so many, and I came in so late.
I don't think I have a favorite. I don't know. There were things wrong with transiency, but I spent a lot of time on it, and I put a lot of effort into it.
I was pretty good with transiency. People referenced it. The way that I heard it referenced was it was one of your best and simultaneously one of your worst, for the same reasons.
Yeah.
I was like,
exactly.
I thought it was pretty good.
See, I'm not after the fact. After I posted it, that was when people started telling me what was wrong. But at that point, I couldn't really fix it because it was already out there and everyone already knew it. So I just had to leave it. But I always thought of transiency as kind of my other side, because that's Emmy's baby, that's her child, and that's the one. Transiency is the one I put a lot of effort, a lot of hours into, and not as good results, but.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna. I feel
I
don't think another story will top Other Side because Other Side was 100 favorites before any other RWBY story did it.
And it was only written when we had white trailer and red trailer. Nothing else. We didn't know anything else about these characters. It was written when we only had
Emmy one other fic.
She just nailed them.
She got them pretty accurate. God. Emmy talked about it. It was it was always so weird to me. There were people who got the characters picture perfect off of just the red and white trailer, and it was really weird. Actually, Black and Hearts was one of them.
Yeah, he is. He's... Oh, John is so good.
Shoutouts to when you're on the show. That's going to be cut out. I don't know why I said that. That's just more work for me. I have to cut out my plans for who I want on the show. All right.
But most of my proudest ones are ones that I've written just all in one day. Oh, Darkness Falls. That was set for Weiss Rabbit's Grimdark AU. It was literally, we had been talking about it in Skype one night, and next morning I just wrote the whole thing in like 2 hours, and bam, it was there. So usually the ones I'm proud of are ones I write all in one day or in like really quickly, or in odd situations where I don't usually write.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right, I'll stop there. Otherwise, I'm not sure.
That's fine.
We got some questions.
How long have you
It's
been writing,
alright.
and what other fandoms have you written for? And this one is a question from an Anon. I don't know why I said it that way.
I was like, who? Oh, okay, Anon. Alright, I've been writing. I'm on my fanfiction page right now. I joined fanfiction on October 3rd, 2007, but I've been writing since before that. So
07 was about 8 years ago.
Yeah, but even before then, I was writing like just in notebooks and stuff, and I was writing poetry even before that. And I think that like the first story I remember writing was about Neopets. That's how long ago it was.
Neopets was the shit.
I was obsessed with Neopets. I have all the cards, I have all the posters, all that, and I wrote like a whole story when I was like maybe 8 years old, 9 years old, and it that was my start. So if that counts. But officially starting fanfiction was in 2007, so about 8 or 9 years ago. That was the shit.
Neopets was so good.
And then even before the Neopets, actually, there was it's such a weird story, but I remember it vividly because it was like a big moment in my life. When we still had CD players.
Oh my god.
The things you put your headphones in. And you like have a little CD rolling around in it, and you listen to it in the car as your parents are driving, whatever. I had a Kelly Clarkson CD.
Oh my god.
And, you know, back in the day, you didn't have an iPod. You had to listen to all 13 songs in order every time. And I made up a story that went, like, each song was a different part of the story, and the whole CD composed the entire story, you know, went in order. And I wrote out that story in a notebook, and it ended up being like 3 notebooks worth of writing. That was when I was even younger than the Neopets.
Wow. That is...
So...
I'm going to be 100% honest when I say this. The CD player was actually before my time. Before I was doing that stuff.
That's...
Like the portable
insane.
CD player was before my time. You're
so old.
You're only 4 years older than me. Wait,
oh my God. And yet still it's so much.
Are you going to be 21 this year, or...
Yes.
Okay, so you're about 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
Wow, I cannot believe what a difference 5 years makes.
Oh my god, so much.
Such a big
and then what else is it? What other fandoms to write for?
Yeah.
You can go on my fanfiction page and it has at the top, the author has written 361 stories
Jesus Christ,
for.
I'm not reading that.
It's lots of
lots
anime.
Of Japanese characters or Chinese characters. Lots of characters.
Yes, lots. And most there's a good portion of these stories or these fandoms where the category didn't exist, but I had already written a story and I came on fanfiction and I found there's no category, so I had to request it.
Wow.
It happened for at least 10 different series. Like, I requested the category, I started it, I posted the first story, I gave birth to it. So I'm like the founder of those 10 series on fanfiction.
Wow. What a history.
But ever since 2 years ago, it's just been RWBY. And I'm, like, every time I look at, like, I go on fanfiction, I don't read much anymore, because I spend most of my free time just writing. But whenever I do go on fanfiction to just read something, I see, like, how many fics RWBY has, and I just say, 145 are mine! And I get so proud.
That's a pretty decent percentage compared to what most people have. I'd be willing to bet you have the best percentage compared to others.
My friend once did, he did the statistics of, at that time, of how many RWBY fics there were. But I don't write for OCs, so he excluded stories with OCs. So just canon character stories, I had, like, and he put, like, my number at the time in those percentages, and he was like, you've written, like, I forget what percentage it was, but it was more than half of them. I'm pretty sure. Without OCs, because there are a lot of OC stories.
Especially back when things first started.
Yeah, when we didn't have a lot of characters to go off of.
Next question. This is normally like question 6 on the actual list. There's just so many questions before it. It's question 21. What's your favorite AU?
Okay. Oh no, you can't do this
Yes,
to me.
I can, because I'm the host.
I like a lot. I don't know if I have a favorite. I like a lot of AUs. I mean, I've made some of my own. Like, I made Dragon's Curse AU. But, of course, I like Future AU. I like Grimdark AU. I like Arranged Marriage AU. Oh, God, I have so many. There's so many AUs. I don't think I have a favorite. But, like, every person who's made an AU, if I have a tag for it, that just means I like it. I mean, I like a lot of AUs. There's the Florist AU. It's very small, but it exists, and I know about it, and I like it. And there's, like, I don't know. I guess.
There's the Pac-Man AU?
I really...
There's the Pac-Man AU?
Pac-Man
I'm sure
AU.
that it exists. I just made something up.
Probably. It probably does. And
Dude, there's
I
the
like...
Schnee Ties AU. What a great AU that is.
I don't even know.
I made it.
Oh, okay.
Joke.
I haven't heard much about it.
I made it. It's really small.
And then, shout out to Jacket AU by Nox, because that's adorable.
Circus AU.
And there's Circus AU, but there's Jacket AU, which is the one I wrote for in like a day. I was like, I just whipped up a fic for it because it was so cute. I really like that one too. And then, yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Dude.
That's all I can remember off the top of my head. There are definitely more,
so
but
more.
off the top of my head,
so many more AUs
that's what I can.
Dude, Schnee Tie's best AU.
Lots of AU.
It's a joke. It's a big ploy to get people to ship Sephora. All it is.
Oh, of course. Where am I? Of course, Henceforth. I love Henceforth AU.
I found myself referencing Henceforth AU a lot in my show.
I love Henceforth. Oh my god, Henceforth. Kuma can just marry me right now.
Hey, back off.
I didn't know Jen's birthday was today. I would have written her something, but I didn't know in advance, and I couldn't because I had Taekwondo all morning, and then
I've
I had
gotten
this.
really out of the habit of like writing things for people. I would still like only like. How does it feel when people mark? What the fuck is wrong with me? How does it feel when people make? Wait, what?
Mark
what?
or make?
Oh, I know what I did here. Wow, I was tired. How does it feel when people make art or fanfics? Because if you're writing, I combine make with art, and it made mark.
Ah, so you mark.
Prime 22. This one is viewer submitted question from Prime 22.
Prime knows the answer because he's always talking. But I've answered it before. But it is my favorite thing ever. Like when people, I've explained it before. That just the fact that an artist or another writer would choose my story out of their thousands of stories and thousands of other things to do, just the fact that they would spend a few hours drawing something for me, I can't even fathom it. It is my favorite thing ever when people draw for my stories, because I can always get a clear picture of what I want in my head as I'm writing it, but it's just really nice to see it in color and like very solid instead of just kind of in your mind. And I've had several occasions where people have drawn things for me, and sometimes they tell me about it and I'll freak out, but sometimes they don't tell me about it and I just see it by chance on my dash, and then I'll like freak out even more because I'll be like, why didn't you tell me about it? Oh my gosh. And I've like been brought to tears sometimes because I'm so flattered and so happy about it. There was a couple weeks ago when I wrote Checkup, which actually got really popular for some reason. I don't know why. It was, again, this was with Ash, my partner for roleplay. We were texting back and forth one night, and we just came up with Dr. AU between Weiss and Blake. Next morning, I wrote the whole thing, and I posted it. And for the next 3 days, I came home after Taekwondo, and one day, Nox had put a submission of artwork in my inbox.
I remember that.
The next day, it was Dash, and the next day, it was V4X Luca Megu, the Vocaloid person. I can't remember the name, but that artist, who was awesome. That. And like 3 consecutive days, I found artwork in my inbox, and I shrieked. I was so happy. I was like, oh. Awesome. And then Moe Kumo and Lycan Eris, Kumo and Rin like combined a while back, and they did a comic for Gold, and Jenny has done cover pieces for me, and she's drawn so many scenes from our role plays and from Gold, and oh my god, I have a tag specifically for, you know, people who have drawn art for my stories, and whenever I'm feeling upset, I always go into that tag, and it just makes me feel so happy. It's my favorite thing.
That's awesome.
I can't explain it. Thank you all. I love all of you. Such a good feeling. It's so happy.
All right.
But yes, I love it.
Best experiences in the fandom, and this one is another viewer submitted question from Knives for Cash.
Ah, Knives. Best experiences in the fandom? It could go a lot of ways. Like, there's meeting people. I've met so many awesome people, and just meeting and talking to them every day is an awesome experience in and of itself. There was actually at one point Ami Pi, her full name, who worked on Future AU with Funblade. We talked back and forth for a while, and Ami actually invited me to like become an official name in the Future AU. But I was so flustered, I declined, and I was like, no way, I couldn't do it. But that was pretty cool that she even thought to offer to have me as part of that really big AU. And I loved meeting my roleplay groups. My Twitter roleplay groups, just full of great people. And then coming on Tumblr, all my Tumblr roleplay groups, they're all awesome and just really fantastic. Mostly the fandom, I enjoy the fandom because of the people, and the people are just great. And yeah, that's probably my best experience is making friends, and I love doing trades with people. Artists or other writers, I love doing trades because, like, I just love giving gifts, and I don't know. I love giving people fix on their birthdays and stuff, but I like doing trades and stuff too because we get, like, everyone wins pretty much, because, like, well, you get art, and you get a story, and you get a gift for this person, and you get a commission for that person, and it's like, everyone kind of benefits from those. It's really nice.
Aside from writing, is there any other medium you express your creativity in? No, poetry does not count.
That is writing, yes. Depends what you consider creativity. I write from time to time, yeah. I draw from time to time. I was actually going to do some tonight or tomorrow if I could, but I don't think I'm going to scrap it for tonight because we're still in this interview. Whew, it's 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah, it is. Sorry.
But, well, for me, no, I don't care. I don't have to be in it. Well, I can stay up. I don't care. But I do have an art tag, which is Hana Does Tablet, and please don't go back any more than one page in it, because when I first started drawing, it wasn't pretty. It's still not very pretty. I have, like, give me 5 instances I've written, drawn, and maybe 1 of every 5 looks halfway decent, but the rest is just
like your art.
Don't bother. But I draw from time to time. It just takes me a long time because I don't have Sai or anything fancy. I just have Photoshop, and I just have a very old, tiny tablet with a tiny screen, and it takes a long, long time. So I don't draw as often as I want to or would like to. But
I like your art.
Thank you. I do Taekwondo. That's pretty creative, I guess. And I've written my Taekwondo RWBY AU already. It's 5 chapters.
That's true.
That will be out in like August or something. It's gonna be a while.
That'll
but
be out when Kokkoro is
that.
the only thing living on this earth anyway.
But yeah, I don't like the singing count. I sing.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah, I sing when no one's listening, except my cats.
You
Sometimes
posted
sing
one
my cats.
thing with music.
I posted 3, but I only let people find 1.
Okay, cool. I've only found 1.
Which one was it? Was it the "You Are My Sunshine"?
I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember what it was at this point. I remember it being really pretty, though.
I sang "You Are My Sunshine," and there's a funny one about that because I sang it like downstairs because like everyone else in the house was upstairs and I was singing it so no one could hear. And like as soon as I hit stop on the video, I'd finished the song. I looked down and there's a giant spider right next to my foot, and I screamed. I was like, "Oh my god!" I kicked it out the door with my foot. Oh my god, it was horrifying. I was like, I just recorded this nice video, and like 2 seconds later, I was screaming and crying.
I'm so sad you didn't get that as well.
Oh my god.
I forgot to do something with Riot. I mentioned something to Riot or whatever, and Riot was just like made like the best noise in response, or something like that. And I was just like, I'm so glad I got that on recording because it's so great. All right, that counts. Though. Singing counts. Singing. I forgot about the art part,
All right.
and I forgot about the singing part. God damn, I knew about both of them, but I totally forgot. Next question.
Yeah, that's
Another
about it.
viewer submitted question. What was the hardest work of fiction to write?
Hardest. Well, depends what you mean by hard, because there's hard that's like emotional.
That was sent in by Nice for Cash.
Again?
I almost forgot.
Yeah. There's hard in the sense like emotionally, like I'm having such a hard time writing this because it's so sad and angsty kind of hard, and there's hard as in putting it together and editing it and updating it. So like the hardest, I guess, emotionally, I think it was Howl, because I knew from the very start what I wanted to do with it, but the whole saying goodbye part where Ruby had to say goodbye to Weiss and her sister, and Yang had to say goodbye, and they all had to say goodbye to each other. That was the hardest part. And even writing Glinda, because Glinda had been saying, if there was anything within my power other than this, if there were any other options, we would do it, but this is the only way. And I was honored to have you as my students, and we'll never forget you. And like, it was just hard to put it all in words and make them all say goodbye. Good, that means I did my job. But hardest for putting together, again, with the longer fix, it was probably Gold and Eternal. Eternal, probably, because it was longer. It's my longest one for RWBY. And like I said, I had planned it a year before I actually started writing it. I just couldn't configure everything in my mind. I kept pushing it back. I was like, screw it. I'll get to it never. And then one day I was like, no, I gotta do it. I'm gonna at least try. And it was hard to get everybody in there, because I had Juniper in there, I had Coffee in there, I had Crime in there, I had the Dragon, I had Ruby, I had the Kings and the Queens and the Summer, and there was just lots of people, lots of chapters, and lots of writing involved, so that was probably the most difficult one.
Alright.
To configure.
In contrast to that, another viewer submitted question, once again from Jenny. What was your favorite story to write? Once again, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jen. Favorite story to write? Oh, God. I like different ones for different reasons. Like, I'll shout out to Moonbeams. Moonbeams was, like, I think one of my first Ladybug ones. I wrote it for Jay's birthday a couple years ago.
I believe it was the first one.
Yeah, I think it was my first one, yeah. And I wrote it, like, in an hour in, like, my college classroom, like, alone by myself. I was just writing this Ladybug fic. Because, like, I got the idea when I was driving in the car, and, like, I wrote it in school, and then I posted it for Jay's birthday. And I really enjoyed writing that one. I remember just having a lot of fun with it, because it was my first Ladybug, and I was having fun getting the dynamic of those two together. And, let's see. But I enjoyed lots of my White Rose. I really liked Two Hearts, which was set in future AU. And it was just tons and tons of stupid fluff, but it was so much fun. I love the fluff. Kind of fluff. Stupid, pointless, senseless fluff. I love it. That was really fun. And then there was another one somewhere. Oh, like Sweeter Than Honey. That was, and yes. Tall Order. Those are both very small Bumblebee fics I did. But, again, Sweeter Than Honey, I think was for someone's birthday again. I
don't remember, but I can say Sweeter Than Honey was one of my favorite things that you've written.
Yeah. Oh, that was for Jay's birthday next year. So actually both of Jay's birthday fics were Moonbeams and Sweeter Than Honey. and I had a lot of fun writing both of those. And Tall Order was kind of fun because I got that from the blog Imagine Your OTP, and which is just tons and tons of prompts. Imagine your OTP doing this, and that one was just imagine your OTP fighting about who was taller.
Oh my god.
And that was
perfect.
That one was fun because it was a little humorous and
perfect.
Yeah,
perfect for your OTP.
Little one shots here and there that like weren't the ones that weren't too angsty, that were just kind of funny or humorous or friendshipy kind of. Those are fun.
All right, next question.
Yes.
What's your favorite story excluding your own?
I think I answered it like 3 times.
Let me guess.
Other side.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, I already said it. Well, can guess. Go ahead.
I didn't have a joke, actually, so.
Oh, all right.
I didn't have a follow-up.
But yeah, but there are, like, I say other side all the time because that's the one I automatically think of, but there are other ones.
No,
like,
there's no
I
other
have
quality
ones
in this
on my...
one. It's just other side.
But there are, I can't think of the top of my head. I have them on my, well, you can go on my fanfiction page and look on my favorites. You look on my favorites. Let me see. Is that on fanfiction?
Yeah, it's on fanfic.net. Yeah.
Is it? Because I never, okay, I only saw it on the Tumblr.
I post it in a weird way. I post it, title, word count, rating, link to fanfiction.net, and then there's a reader.
Okay. See, I only ever had it on Tumblr, but I can
send you a
link. Go find it on fanfics. Yeah, and I can I can put it on my official favorites list, so I can get it easily, and don't have to think about tags. Yay! Yeehaw! Okay, cool. Got it. Doing it right now.
If you had one fanfic to recommend to someone, if you had one fanfic to recommend to someone else by another writer to get people into the fandom, what would it be, and why is it other side from Knives for Cash? It's not actually a question. I included that.
Why is it other side?
The last bit.
But yeah, I would probably recommend my favorite stories. You know, I recommend Other Side, Red and White, and like just those. Because, like I said, I really don't read very many anymore because I spend my free time writing. Because, like I said, if I have to read, my hands aren't doing anything. I need to be doing something with my hands at all time.
Just buy a Rubik's
Otherwise,
Cube.
I'll get very antsy. Oh my god. I would go insane. I'm so bad at them. But, yeah, there's lots of awesome stories out there. I'd have to recommend On the Balcony too, just because it is so good. And yes, please do it. French AU. Oh god, so good.
How do you deal with negative criticism?
It depends the caliber of negative criticism.
Okay, let's say valid negative criticism.
Okay,
not just
valid.
like Lowly Story sucks.
Yeah, there's those too, of course. But for negative criticism, like I got a lot with Transiency and a lot with Roses, and most of those was at the time I was writing. I didn't realize how bad some of those themes I was writing were. And when I was writing, I just wanted to tell a story. I didn't consider how bad the genres involved were. I didn't think about the angst and the horrible things, really. I just want to tell a story. So I've been trying to work on being more mindful about the things I put in stories and, you know, adding all the warnings and everything like that. But I got a lot of negative criticism for those too. And I usually, depending on, because some people will send me wall of text, an entire essay. This was wrong, this was bad, this. And if they're just being flat out rude, I'll just either ignore it. But most of the time, I just say, you know, well, sorry, my story, not yours. Too bad. But if it's legitimate, like valid criticism, I will always take it to heart, and I always reply with, you know, I'll keep this in mind for the future. I'll try not to do this as much. I'll try not to do that again. Stuff like that. And I do take it seriously because I make it my policy that I reply to every review from every person, unless it's anonymous, because you can't reply to those. Yes. I would love to reply to some anonymous people, trust me, for good and bad reasons. But, oh well. But for my policy is that if someone takes the time out of their day to talk to me and give me feedback, I will always reply to them and, have a little conversation and let them know that I saw their message. So I do take everything my readers say into consideration. And there have been some instances where someone had pointed out, this part of the story wasn't very nice in certain ways. And as soon as I realized it and I knew what they meant, I went back and I edited the document and I re-uploaded the story. So I fixed certain things. But with things that I can't fix, I just take it to heart and I will hopefully improve it for future stories.
Good way to deal with things.
Do my best.
All you can do. Is your personal favorite part about your stories?
Personal favorite part?
See.
In writing them, maybe?
Sure, or just, whatever, having them done or
part.
just
I see. I really enjoy the whole process. I wake up every morning, my alarm goes off, and I don't sleep in because I'm I get to write. Gotta write. Let's do this. And I love writing, the process of writing, because usually I'll have everything is already planned out in my head. And I don't really need to think about it as much. When I write, people have called me the machine so many times. You're a machine. And I accept that. Because I don't really need to think about it. I just write, and it just happens as it filters through my brain to my fingers. And I don't have to dwell on it too much. It just kind of happens. It's pretty satisfying for me. But there's a quotation. It's just there's no feeling like having finished writing, because that's the best feeling is when you're done. But I like editing too. I love editing them because, as we were saying before, I'll be editing a fic that I wrote 5 months ago, and I totally forgot what I wrote for it. And I'll remember, oh yeah, I forgot I did this, and oh wow, I forgot I did that part, and oh wow, I really like this line or this word that I used. I totally forgot that word existed, and how did I remember it back then? Because I don't remember it now. But good job to my past self. So editing's fun too, and then of course there's posting, and especially if it's for someone, if it's a birthday fic, or if it's a trade, or a surprise fic, I always love seeing the reactions, because it's great. I love making people happy with the stories. So I really enjoy the entire process. There's nothing I dread about writing. I don't really get writer's block often, if at all. I really don't.
Well, there goes that question. Literally really? The next question. Oh, no, it's not.
Do you get writer's block?
Spoiler alert, it's a question after.
Well, I don't get writer's block because I always have an idea. But there have been a few stories where I'm just not as excited about writing it as I was excited about writing a different story. I'll say it out loud now. An AU, the fairy tale AU or the other AU I mentioned, that's a secret. When those mornings when I woke up and those were the ones on the schedule that I had to write, I I wrote for hours, nonstop. I didn't even want to eat breakfast. I just wanted to keep writing. But with my Taekwondo AU, that one was a little tough. It hasn't been posted yet. It won't be posted for a while. But it was a little tough because I had to incorporate different things from the martial arts and then combine RWBY and then combine all the other characters with it. So I wasn't as rigorous and as excited with writing that one, but I still wrote it. I mean, I didn't just stop halfway through and say, I'm stuck. I always keep going, even if I push past it and it doesn't feel the best at the time. I find that coming back weeks and months later when I've forgotten about it, and then looking at it again, I can usually figure out the issues or make it better after a couple months or weeks.
All right.
So yeah, that's how I do it.
Are you surprised by the success of your stories?
Absolutely. Okay. I never thought I would, get this far. Like I said before, probably several hours ago, I'd only intended to write a couple stories for RWBY, but I just kept getting ideas, and it just didn't stop. And I kept meeting new people who gave me new AUs and new situations and new prompts, and I just kept getting more ideas. And I guess people find me because I write lots of different ships and different relationships and scenes and AUs. So the people who like this ship will find me, and then other ships, and everyone kind of. I can't. I'm not speaking anymore.
Everyone can find a central point with you because you have so much diversity within the things that you write. There is an option for everyone to cater to just about everybody's interests.
Thank you. You are 3 hours behind me, and it shows because I'm tired.
Technically speaking, I'm 4 years behind you.
Oh, that too.
5 years behind you.
You have a better working brain. Yes, you saved me.
I got your back, Hana.
That's what I mean. So yes. So I guess that's why I'm. What was the word? Successful? Am I considered successful?
I consider
I don't know.
Successful.
But just because.
How many Tumblr followers do you have?
5,000.
Jesus fuck! All right, you're successful
right now. But it's Dash has 15,000.
There's successful,
Diana has
and then
10,000.
there's Dash, right? Dash is running the goddamn. That's because Dash draws.
She's not of this world.
Like, just draws everyone,
right? But yeah, since I write a lot of stories for a lot of different scenarios and pairings and stuff, a lot of people will find me for different reasons, and yeah, I guess that's.
I got a friend under reading through Tooth and Nail because they like Arctic monkeys. So.
Oh, is that what it's called? I've heard White Sun, and that was just the one I called it. So
they refer to it as Arctic monkeys. So I mean they're like the only people.
That sounds cool.
But they were like, man, there's like no Arctic monkey stories. I'm like, hey, Hana has one, and they're like, who's Hana? I'm like, you're in for a treat. She does a lot of work. All right, next question. Writer's block. Next question. Skipping over that one. Oh, you kind of answered this one too. What do you do to wait? What the fuck did I type? All right. What do you do to get ready to write? I have what do you do to get ready to writing. I did this the last time I had somebody on for writing too. Not last time, the time before that. I had what do you do to get ready to writing as well.
The same typo.
I don't know what's wrong with me. All right, what do you do to get ready to write though?
Well, it depends. Like I said, this semester, since I'm not going to school, it's mostly just us. My best writing environment is in my room because there's no TV here, there's no radio, there's no noise, just open window, some birds sometimes, and I'm a morning writer. I write in the morning. I usually do role plays in the evening at nighttime, but full-fledged fics I will do in the mornings, and that's my best time because it's quiet, no one's awake yet. Hopefully, I don't know. Sometimes I live near a deli, and there's a dumpster, and there's lots of crashing noises and lots of weed whacking, lots of snow blowing. So I gotta close the window sometimes. But yeah, to get ready for writing, I need quiet, and I do the majority of my writing before eating breakfast, actually. So like I'm usually writing on an empty stomach and before I've spoken to anyone that day because no one's awake yet. But as soon as I go in to have breakfast and I hear the TV and I start talking, I kind of get out of my writing mood. So I always try and write as early as possible, as much as possible. But like I said, in the evenings I do role plays because they're shorter replies. I don't need as much focus for them because it's only a couple paragraphs. But I still try to put a lot of effort into those two because I want them to be good for my partners. Stuff like that. But I have written a couple times in college because there was nothing to do if I had a break time. But I always need has to be in the library, has to be in a quiet room with nobody else there, and I cannot have anyone behind me. I cannot write if someone's looking over my shoulder. I can't draw if anyone's looking over my shoulder. I can't do anything if someone's looking over my shoulder.
Guess where I am?
Oh God, please no.
In Arizona.
Yes.
Tucson, Arizona.
Over my shoulder, a couple thousand miles away.
Yeah. In spirit.
In spirit, yes.
I'm there in spirit. God,
So yeah,
fuck Tucson. I
I'm
don't need to
very,
talk.
I'm very specific. Just like I am a picky eater, I am very picky with writing. Like it has to be very specific conditions, or I won't do it, or I won't do it well. Except for those few times, like with Camellias, where I just was so excited that I just wanted to write it. It didn't
The
matter.
hype carried you through. The hype created the
Exactly.
silence.
Exactly. The TV was going, there's people talking, but I was just like, I was so excited.
So much hype.
Yes.
Adrenaline off the wazoo. All right. Skipping over the next two questions because reasons. By the way, because we've answered some of these questions as well, I'm just kind of skipping over some of them or some of the ones that I don't think are as good because it's, you
Five
beat Riot.
hours.
Congratulations. Never thought it would happen. Happened literally the next episode. So let's keep going.
Yes.
How long do you typically write per day? This is from an Anon.
Anon.
Or an Anon.
Anon. Whichever. Typically, what did I say before? Wake up at 8 or 9.
Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
Yes, Katy Perry. And I usually write until...
That's Kesha.
Oh, yes! Oh my god. We can cut that out. We don't have to cut it out because I'm stupid. This shows how much I listen to the radio and how much I know.
But how much you listen to a stereo? It beats for you, so listen close. I missed some words there that would really make more sense.
Yeah,
but
I got it. I got it.
Yeah. Gym class heroes and Adam Levine.
So I usually start around 9 o'clock. Depending on how late I stay up, could be 8 or 9 o'clock. I'll wake up and write, and then breakfast I usually have around noon, and then at 1 o'clock I go into like the family room, which is where the TV is, and that's kind of where I just chill and I write little drabbles or I do role plays. But for fics, I write typically on weekdays 5 to 6 hours a day, and then role plays and other things probably another hour because I have a lot of role plays to do. And on Sundays, though, my free days, I'll write all day. I will write 23 pages. I will go. I think I went from 9 a.m. to like 5 or 6 p.m. one time.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so.
That's kind of ridiculous.
I write as much as I can while I have the time. And then even when I had school hours and stuff, I would have a couple hours here and there would be free. But I'd write on Sundays. So yeah. But right now, it is typically 5 or 6 hours a day.
All right. Next question. Kind of viewer submitted, kind of not, because I wanted to have it on the list, so I counted myself in there. How do you stay so motivated to produce so much writing? It's so admirable. That one's from Chrissy, Knives, and myself.
Oh, really? 3 people? Oh.
Yeah. Well, 3 people, including me. I took the way that Chrissy phrased it, though, by the way. Knives did have it phrased another way. Mine would have been, how the fuck do you write so much? It's unreal. Not really. I would have phrased it much kinder. More kind.
I don't know. Then, like I said, RWBY is something that I didn't have before in my life. Because when I wrote for all the other animes and stuff, before RWBY was a thing, I would write, I wrote 50 stories for Bleach. I wrote a couple for Naruto. I wrote for this manga that nobody knows about. But I never had, like, so many ideas until RWBY happened, because there were ideas I wanted to write in the canon sense. There were one I wanted to write for, like, out of character or in AUs, and there's so many AUs. There's so many great people that have their own ideas, and I just want to write for as many people as I can, because if I get an idea, I'm gonna write it. Like, there's no stopping me. So I think it's just the fact that RWBY has such a vast fandom, and it's so diverse, and there's so many people, they have so many ideas, and they're also great, and I want to have a contribution to as much of them as I can. So there's always something for me to write about. There's always something on my mind. There's always an idea. And if I run out of ideas one day, I know I can just make a text post, give me ideas, and I'll be set for the next year, because people will always have ideas. And it's motivating just in itself, because I love writing. I love the whole process. I love editing and posting them. I love seeing the reactions. And I'm always motivated to write more because I want to see, what are people going to think of this one, and how are people going to like it, and will someone draw for it, or will someone, do a trade with me. So it's always just considering the new possibilities. So I'll never really get stuck or get bored with writing for RWBY, I don't think. Because by the time the next volume rolls around, it'll give me a whole new bit of information to use, so I can just write more.
All right. Is it easier to write fan fiction now that you've gotten to no? Fuck. Is it easier to write the? Is it easier to write fan fiction now that you've gotten to know the characters more? And this one is from Sassy Tango.
Sassy Tango! Shout out to those awesome little doodles you did for me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's easier to write for them now, but because we do know a bit more about the main characters. As we've said before, I mainly write for the main team, RWBY. And it's been easier to write them more since we got more information on them, and just like little tidbits here and there. Like I remember specifically the freezer burn AU I'm doing right now. I always mention the doilies because they had their doily moment in the canon. Just little things like that I can incorporate into my fics and make it a little more authentic, a little easier to relate to. Mm-hmm. But there is something to be said for before we knew so much about the characters, just winging it, just totally winging it like Emmy did, and just getting it right
like
or not getting it right.
That were there.
Yeah, and
like we all did.
We can make our own interpretations, and if other people like it, then that's cool. If they don't like it, then that's cool too. But yeah.
What's worse is when canon doesn't like it.
Well, if you believe hard enough, your own headcanons can be your own canon.
Roman and Blake are together, yay!
Exactly.
What have you learned from your stories?
I've learned lots of things. I've learned from feedback from other people, like things that maybe I shouldn't do next time, or I should try to improve next time. But I've taught myself a lot of things too. Like I've taught myself, what situations and what pairings I like or don't like writing, or which ones I write better than others, or which dynamic or duo or group I write better. But other than just in RWBY, I've learned a lot of words, to be honest. Like I have on my bookmarks bar, I have a list of 5,000 SAT words, and after every story, I just go through it, and I always try and put at least 5 of those words into the story, which is, I've been doing that a lot with strangers I know, especially, and because I don't actually know a lot of words. I'm really bad with words.
Same.
So I'm trying to enhance my vocabulary. I'm trying to get better with diction and syntax, stuff like that. And
I don't even know what diction means.
Like, sentence structure.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to learn, how to write in general, because I still don't know how to write as well as I might like to. Actually, even I learned that it was a while ago I learned it, that when I'm typing dialogue and someone's talking, and then I put a period and then capitalize she said, but that's not right. I learned that you have to put a comma and you lowercase she said, because that is the full sentence, not the dialogue part. I never knew that. No one ever taught me that in school. Really? So I've been going back over my RWBY stories for many, many weeks, correcting all of those little things. I've been fixing those. I've been fixing my apostrophes, because I used to put Weiss plural with SS apostrophe S, and then I realized you don't need the third S. It looks weird anyway, so I've been going back and just editing and taking all that stuff out and changing all those things. So just writing has helped me, better understand the characters and help me just become a better writer, I guess. Because as I say, practice makes perfect, and if you're not doing what you love, you're wasting your time, that kind of thing. So I'm always...
all the cliches.
Always trying to write and just get better.
All right, next question. skipping over that. Next question.
Last one, right?
No, we have
No?
5 more.
Really? Oh, I thought we were on
Yeah.
43. Oh, all right. All right.
No, it's getting confusing what number we're on because I've skipped so many questions, but
It's fine.
last 5.
Ooh.
This is one of my favorite questions. Maybe my favorite.
Is this the one?
You could work on a story, with any
not.
other writer, who would it be with and why?
Oh.
Only stipulations. 1 in fandom, 1 out of fandom, and you cannot have worked with them previously before.
Oh, I can't have worked with them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if the role plays count.
I'm going to make role plays count.
They count. Okay, so I've already written with Emmy, I've written with Ash, I've written with Aaron and Jen, and
All of them.
I would
Gridlocked motherfucker.
within the fandom, I'd like to write with Ivory because I
Ooh.
haven't read a lot of her stuff because a lot of it is like a lot that I've seen is like not safe for work or like just like really not my.
Ivory's there. Ivory's there.
What do you mean?
They, them.
Oh, there. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm here for the assist.
Thank you. I haven't read. Like I said, most of their work is kind of not safe for work. Well,
there's a lot
some
of
that I've
frack
seen
that goes on.
I'm sure there's more that aren't like that.
There's a lot of frickety frack that goes on.
Okay, so but I've read a bit of them like before they've gotten to that part, and then I would stop. And what I have read is just it's so good. It's really good. And I consider Ivory a senpai and everything, but I'm just so intimidated. I never talk to them. I can hook you 2 up. I never talk to them. I don't know. So yeah, if I had to, I guess I would probably pick Ivory because as intimidated and scared as I am, they're awesome from what I have read.
Yep. And for your out of fandom, which will most likely be an Emily.
Does it? Well, I don't know. I haven't read very many people. They're all dead. Emily Dickinson's dead. Emily Bronte's dead.
I'll give you a Monster Reborn. Just
Oh, all right.
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh joke.
From what I've known, Emily Dickinson wasn't exactly
didn't work with people. But...
She was kind of a bit of a hermit. She might not have liked me. I don't know much about Emily Bronte, but who is it?
What a great name.
Mary Shelley seemed kind of cool. Like she had writing parties with people.
She literally Frankenstein was.
She was written on the island on vacation or whatever.
No, literally Frankenstein. I don't know if you know the full story behind this. Her friends, like her and a bunch of her friends, were like, "Who can create the best monster story?"
Exactly.
And like, there's competitive, and then there's Mary Shelley.
Freaking Frankenstein.
I'm gonna make fucking the biggest, one of the biggest monsters, and for like the next after I die, like forever.
Yep.
And I'm gonna beat these motherfuckers.
And I'm fairly sure. I think I want to say it was like she was on vacation, or like
she wrote it. She wrote it.
The power had gone out, or something. It was something weird,
she wrote
like
it on an island.
Yeah, when they're on an island, and it was either during a storm or power was out and they couldn't do anything else.
Over the course of a while.
Yeah, or like the idea came for there, but yeah, I guess I'd go with
you're right.
Mary Shelley seems pretty cool if she could come back to life.
Yeah. Mary Shelley, I really enjoyed Frankenstein. That was a really
good one. I learned lots of vocab from that one.
All right, the next one, which is the last viewer submitted question, since I believe I cut some out, which apologies if I did. If you didn't hear your question asked, that means that I either cut it mid-interview or I cut it before the interview because it was already on the list, or it just kind of wasn't a question that I thought I could take. So apologies, not really, because it's what I got to do. But the last viewer submitted question, are you ready for this, Hannah?
Is this the one?
This might be the one.
This might be the one. I'm ready.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
All right.
I don't like waffles. I don't know why. Like I said before, I'm the pickiest person when it comes to food and writing conditions. I eat the same thing for breakfast every day. Same thing for lunch, same thing for dinner. Never get sick of it, but I do not like waffles. And they're like the same thing as pancakes, pretty much. Just a little crunchier.
Okay, they taste different. They taste different, all right?
But I will
vouch for you there.
I don't like waffles. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm a Nora pancake person.
This is gonna be like the 1,000-note shit show that comes off after this. You know this, right, Hannah? Like gonna be Hannah doesn't like waffles. It's gonna just be like
exactly.
It's gonna blow up.
Do I get to know who asked it?
Oh, it was an anon.
Ah, all right,
I'm so sad. Like that's like my favorite question. I'm gonna keep. That's totally a
We'll
permanent
never
question
know.
now. That's totally a permanent question now. Hey, if you're that anon, like come to me, love me.
Come love
Let
me.
me
We'll
love
talk
you.
about breakfast foods together.
Yeah.
Now I want
Well,
pancakes. I can make pancakes for dinner. Heck, yes, I can.
do
Oh,
it. All right.
should.
Next is honestly, this is my favorite question. Like even with the other two, which are two of my other favorite questions, this one's my favorite. This is also final three questions.
Mm.
Stripping away writing. I'm going to strip away White Rose as well. What do you think your reputation is within the fandom?
So wait, what do you mean? Does it mean not including my White Rose
Yeah,
stories?
I'm stripping away White Rose, and I'm stripping away writing in general from you. It cannot be I do fanfics. Stripping away those two things, what do you think your reputation is within the fandom?
Oh wait, so all right, one more time because you kind of glitched out. If my reputation would be if I didn't write
If I'm going to
White
strip away
Rose,
writing, and I'm going to strip away White Rose, like just to ship in general from you, because you're really synonymous with that. Also, let's just take away Weiss just in case.
Okay, so I have absolutely nothing.
Really, really good. Oh man, you should have heard Riot's reaction to this when I was like skipping a cosplay. Riot's like, oh, all right, that's easy. Then RWBY rocks my reputation, and I'm just like, and I was just like, all right, taking away RWBY rock as well. You're gonna take RWBY rock from me?
Oh my god!
Right?
No.
You've left me nothing, and I was just like, you'll figure something out. But so stripping away White Rose, Weiss, and writing, what do you think your reputation is within the fandom?
Useless. Cause, well, okay,
Right,
I have a Yang, a Blake, and a RWBY blog as well. I haven't role played on RWBY yet, but I've role played with myself on Yang and Blake back and forth. So the people who know, like the 50 people who follow those, might know me as the Yang and Blake role player. I did some fan art here and there, so I would probably be like the person who does shitty fan art maybe once a month and role plays with herself.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, exactly.
But
right. That one, the Yang and Blake one, where I role played with myself, I did turn into a story which was locked in, and people liked it, so that was alright. But that question excludes fanfiction, so it doesn't count.
It does.
Yeah.
I love that question just because I love hearing people trying to come up with
I
something.
can't do anything else. I made edits a while ago. I made edits for various songs and made like RWBY like songs, and I would Photoshop them. And my most popular one, I think, was like it was RWBY Seasons, and all I did was I put RWBY, Weiss, Blake, and Yang, and I made RWBY's green, Weiss's white, or blue, and then Blake's reddish, and then Yang's yellow. And I put spring, winter, autumn, and summer. And it got so popular. I don't know why. Like, I was just like, this is just like what seasons they're like to me. It was so long ago. But it got, I don't know. I was planning on making another Photoshop edit soon because a song came on and all I could think was RWBY, and I was like, I have to make this. I can't write it, so I have to make it with the Photoshop and screenshots and stuff. But yeah, I need my fan fiction, so.
Yeah. Well, I definitely the reason I love this question though is because I have an idea of what it would be.
What I would be. What would I be?
What would you be?
Yeah,
I was thinking that you are the person whom everybody seems to really love and think is really adorable. That was where I was going. And nobody takes it from the personality standpoint.
I don't.
Totally what I intended when I made this question. Totally what I intended.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. People mostly talk to me because of my stories. Like, they wouldn't have known me.
People would get to know you. Well, yeah, that's how people get to know you. That's how you became popular within the fandom. But
so otherwise, I'd just probably be known as like because like I message all of my art senpais and all of my,
that's fair.
Like all the time. I say like, oh, I love your stuff, or like if they give out like a really cute, like a particular cute piece or an angsty piece, I will go to them and like cry at them and stuff like that. So I'll probably just be known as a really zealous fan.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally game. See, I love that question so much. I love it.
It can be taken different ways.
It can be. It can be, and everybody's taking it like the same way of like actually creating something.
Oh, cool.
Final two questions.
Woohoo!
What is the question you get asked the most?
Mostly I get asked what my writing process is, which I've explained a bit.
Which I contributed to on this one.
Yeah.
That was the question.
Mostly just like it's mostly like how do you write? And I got it so many times that I just made an FAQ tag. So I don't have to keep writing it again and again. But yeah, because some people say like, oh, I write with music, and how do you write in total silence? And I'm like, how do you write with music? I don't know. Everyone works differently. But that's the common question usually is,
Becky, this bitch.
Exactly. Do what works for you.
And the final question that will top it all off. What is the biggest piece of advice that you can give to aspiring writers?
So many. I will try and narrow it down.
Okay.
Well, first of all, there's the two quotations I live by as a writer, which is, if there's a story that you really, really want to read and you have yet to read it, then you must write it. So, gotta do it yourself. And also, why can't I remember my other quote? I can't remember my other quote. I totally blanked out.
Was it the one that you made?
Huh?
Was it the one that you made?
I can't remember.
Okay. I
had another quote. It's on my FAQ, probably.
Right. Go to Hana's FAQ. Do work.
Was I totally? Yeah, basically. But I have to say that, if you want to write, don't worry about other people, because what I usually do is write what you want to write. If other people like it, great. If other people don't like it, okay, too bad. Do what makes you happy, or do the kind of writing you like, so long as it's within boundaries, not, as long as it's not offensive or abusive, stuff like that.
And if it is, be sure to mark it appropriately.
Exactly. So other than that, just write how you want to write. Don't compare yourself to other people, because it won't get you anywhere, really. Depending on what kind of person you are, it'll either make you really upset and it'll make you want to give up, or it'll motivate you. So it's kind of tricky with that piece of advice, actually. But I write for, now I remember the quote. Better to write for the self and have no public than to write for the public and have no self. That's the one. So yeah,
I don't think you said that one.
Oh yeah, well that's the other quote I forgot about. So yeah, that's how I write. I write for myself, and then I share it with people, and of course I hope they like it, but you can't satisfy everyone, and you have to understand that as you put your things out there. But there will be people who will give you feedback and will help you with it along the way. There are so many great people within this fandom. Don't be scared to put yourself out there. Even if you're just starting writing, even if you're just starting drawing, you don't think you're good. Every expert starts as an amateur. And that's, if you just practice as much as you can, practice every day, you'll get better and better and better. And even now, I look back on stories I wrote even just 2 years ago, and I've improved a lot just from 2 years. And let alone 8 years ago. So I'll just have to say, never give up and keep going with it. And you'll get there eventually. And never stop until you're satisfied. And even if you are satisfied, just keep going. I mean, just do what you love. Love what you do.
All right. That is very good advice. That is going to conclude the questions portion of the interview. So, before I move on, anybody specifically that you would like to give a shout out to, since I will not be linking everybody that you said.
Shout outs for what?
They're just like, be like, using an example because I feel as though you'd say this, like, hey, Emmy's really cool. I talk to Emmy a lot, and even though she's the human embodiment of trash, I really like talking to Emmy, and then I would link Emmy in the description.
Ah, okay. Well, yeah, I love Emmy.
Sorry, Emmy.
Emmy's my ultimate senpai, and I'm so indescribably happy that I got to meet her for those 4 days because they were some of the best days of my life. We had so much fun. It was so great. And I want to do it again someday. Shout out. Oh my god. I can't just shout out to a couple people. I have to shout out to everybody. It's not fair.
Keep in mind. Well, I mean,
no, I know. I won't. Have to shout out to Ash Kokkoro with 2 Ks in the middle because talk about her a lot. She's one of my favorite people. One of my best roleplay partners. Best people to text all the time. Talk about everything. Talk about our cats.
Right.
And all of my roleplay partners, you know who you are. You don't have to link everybody because there's so many. Like Ioni and Aaron, Jen, Danny, John, Emmy, everybody. Roleplay partners. And my Twitter roleplays. And all my artist friends. Like, I said, don't link everybody, don't worry.
I'm typing this stuff out just in case anybody want to link.
To Ash and Marie, Angie, Jay, Jin, Sire. There's a lot of people, I told you. Splee, Meow, again, before I forget. Chris, and of course, I want to shout out to Nox because Nox is adorable and I love Nox so much. I'll try and stop there. Just, you can link those 3. Emmy and Kokkoro and Nox because I love them.
Those 3. And we'll mark them.
I love everybody, but Cody doesn't know everybody's URLs and usernames.
Normally I just have you send me the usernames. Normally send me usernames.
Because I have to say hi to everybody.
Okay. That's fair.
So yes.
And they were referenced throughout the episode as well. So with that is going to conclude the longest interview.
I'm
almost
sorry.
5 hours. Episode number 40. Fuck. Episode
37?
number 37.
I'm sorry it took so long.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, realistically, it's just gonna suck when I have to edit it.
Yes.
So that's just gonna be the real shitty part.
That's my fault too.
It is your fault. You should feel like a bad human being. No,
I feel so bad.
I love you. Come back on my show in the future, please.
If you ever need me, just ask.
Yeah, you'll see. I have plans. I have plans for things.
Joint.
But with that is going to conclude this episode of Cody Talks Fandom. Up next in the rotation of Fanon Interpretations is Jean Arc, the man of a million faces, really, it feels. And by a million, I mean 2. It's just as though one of them happened to be more prevalent in canon, one of them happened to be more prevalent in Fanon, and then they crossed streams, which if you've ever seen Ghostbusters, who knows? And that's kind of where it is. I've been really excited about this one. I reference it a lot. Jean, Cinder, and Yang are the 3 that I most am looking forward to for canon versus Fanon. So tune into that. Up next in the rotation for interviews is going to be artist. I have the artist in mind. I just have to ask them, and if they say yes, announcement video next Tuesday. If they say no, well, shit. I'll ask somebody else, and then announcement video next Tuesday. But for now, that is going to conclude this particular episode. I want to once again thank Hana for coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me. Finally, I'm so happy.
Yeah, it only took 20 episodes.
Or 5 hours of interview.
And 5 hours of interview.
I blame Tumblr because they sent me so many questions.
Yeah.
But really, also I blame me because I talk too much.
Riot still has a better still has the worst ratio of questions to questions answered, of kind of questions answered. Haley has the best. Haley's fucking rocking it.
Damn it, Haley.
Ever gonna beat Haley. 31 questions only took an hour.
Oh so. God.
One
day I'll get there.
No, you won't. Please don't. I won't. This actually gives me content. I don't think you realize that I had to not release an episode of Storytime that week. A whole show died because of Haley. But yeah, that is going to conclude this episode. Once again, I'm going to go back to that one. So tune in next Wednesday. Yes, tune in next. Okay, so tune in a certain amount of time after this episode comes out for the next episode of Storytime. Tune in next Tuesday for the next interview announcement video. Tune in next Wednesday for the next episode of Fanon Interpretations. But until then, I will see all of you the next time. Oi.